name is Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of the comic book industry, world's most charming, elegant, and eloquent man. Right? Eloquent,
Yeah.
humble man. I'm trying to fix my microphone. I don't know if I can do it. John and I just got done watching some more Joker clips.
Mm-hmm.
John was deeply disturbed by the Joker clips. What did you think, John?
Yeah, what I started to say was, I looked at, that first trailer with the smile thing and, very cinematic, real emotional. And when I actually hear the words like coming out of Joker's mouth, I like from the trailer, I get like the pre-Joker. I'm going to try not to get into too much of the details on that, but like the pre-Joker, he's uneasy, he's uncomfortable. And then by the time you get the Joker, like you kind of want him to feel comfortable in his own skin. Like now he's in control. He's got it all figured out. But in this trailer, it looks like he's still kind of uncomfortable and, just not really impressed. And the music, when you hear that song Smile, it gives it like this really nice depth. And then when you hear the actual music that they're playing when he's on the staircase,
Rock and Roll by T-Rex.
Yeah, it just comes off a little bit more corny. That rich experience that I think a lot of people are expecting. Now, I've heard that this is standing ovation. Everyone's getting an Oscar, maybe 3.
I gotta say, from what I could see, that was a deeply disturbing movie. And we saw the 3 new clips, and the 3 new clips that we watched were okay. It was kind of neat, the stairway footage. But then I jumped ahead in the video.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Warner Brothers has been taking down these videos everywhere. They got loose, and then they were taken down. People are commenting on them if they were lucky enough to see them, but they're not allowed to be up there. So somebody actually sneaked me over a video of the Joker footage, and I was happy to be able to watch it. Apparently somebody brought a camera into a screening.
Mm-hmm.
They shot over someone's head, and we're watching the 3 clips. I thought that was okay. And then I noticed the video, there was like another half of the video left, and I skipped ahead and saw a big spoiler scene that honestly was deeply, deeply disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It was something else. It was pretty. I'm excited about this. This is I don't know. I don't know.
I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to hop on board. So,
really?
I feel like it's going to suck. I feel like it's, the Hollywood machine and the girl, ZZ Beats, I can't remember what her name was. Like she even said they were writing this movie on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
They would figure out what they were going to write for the next day's scenes, and then they would just go and shoot them. And I don't know how much involvement she actually had, but it sounded like she was involved. Maybe Joaquin Phoenix was involved. These are actors. They're not necessarily writers. So that's kind of a red flag for me. And also that they couldn't even do reshoots with Joaquin Phoenix because he had dropped so much weight that he couldn't put it back on for reshoots. So,
how about that?
Yeah. So they're kind of stuck with whatever they got with the guy. But still, everyone's getting like 3 Oscars at least on this, I guess. So,
yeah, I John and I differ. When it was happening, when we were watching this just now, I was like, John, what do you think? And John's like, I don't know. And I'm just like goosebumps. I'm watching this going, oh my God, this looks like a Scorsese film.
Yeah.
It really does. It's terrifying from what I could see. The performance of what's his name, Joaquin Phoenix, is so real. After he does the horrible thing that he does in that one scene, he kicks his head back and like spit comes out when he laughs. Like it's involuntary.
Yeah.
It is. It's gruesome. Jesus Christ. Excuse my language.
Yeah, I'll probably go watch this on second week, and but until then, I'm probably going to reserve final judgment on it. It could be an Oscar-worthy film. It could be a great, fantastic film, but
it's just not even a superhero film. It has nothing to do with. It doesn't look like DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
And evidently, from what I'm hearing, DC Comics, kind of backed away from this big time. We don't. This isn't. and yet, you know, now they're kind of trying to reclaim it, you know, as Oscar buzz, you know, approach
Oh,
it.
that's why, because of the Oscar buzz.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I haven't seen the movie Loch Ness Yoshi. We saw what, like maybe a minute, 2 minutes of it, 3 minutes
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I mean, it looked as good as it can for being shot on a phone in a dark theater.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We just saw some scenes,
mm-hmm.
and one of them is a big spoiler scene that I guess we weren't meant to see yet, and it is stunning. It is
Yeah, it was a
absolutely shocking.
big time. Yeah, big time spoiler.
Yeah.
You know, but look, I mean, you know, my only concern, and I know a lot of people are gonna hope for this. My only concern is, look, if the movie was called Clown and it was rated R, cool. But you know, I feel like this being called Joker is like putting a candy coating on it. So everyone is definitely going to go out there and see this movie, whether they're
Kids
of
should
age or
not see this movie.
They're gonna, though, you know. So
Kids, let me just reiterate: children should
Mhm.
not see this movie just based on what we
Absolutely.
just saw. It's not for
Mhm.
kids. It is when they say it's rated R. What we saw is rated R, and I wouldn't let my kids see that. I was uncomfortable seeing it.
Mhm.
Boy, we're really hyping it up.
It's going to be an interesting movie. It's going to be interesting to see what everybody's, you know, takes are when it comes out. But I mean, we've really seen so little of it, and we've only heard the Hollywood hype machine at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got some people in the chat. Hail War Campaign. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I know we're at 1 a.m, and this is like the third time I've live streamed today. But you know, I did an early evening live stream. I had to do the High Council. The High Council was a pretty good show. It was on this channel. And then we've got something coming up. You know, basically John Malin, who is John, I want to talk to you.
Hi.
Hi. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a big fan of everything that you've done. I'm a big fan of the way that you approach things. You are a genuinely good human being. I'm a monster, John. I'm an absolute monster. And I'm a bull in a china shop. If if emotions were a china shop, I would be a bull in them. I often hurt people's feelings because I can be clumsy and overly direct. I get angry when I'm misunderstood. You are patient. You are zen. You know, are you?
I'm sure there's people that would disagree. So
I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, I don't know if there are people who would disagree. That is, I think that's an accurate assessment of who you are. And so people admire that about you.
Thank you.
So, this is the thing. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you got through the rage of Comicsgate. The early days. Were you angry a year and a half ago?
Yeah, you know, I mean, like the Mark Waid stuff definitely made me angry. You know, the amount of involvement that he threw onto Jawbreakers, where we were going to get published through Anarch Press, and I mean, most people know the story, but now, you know, then he called them and pretty much warned them of the hell that would be rained down upon them, and they dropped. So yeah, I was definitely angry at things like that. I was angry when Vince Hernandez, the editor-in-chief at Aspen, referred to Richard, myself, and Brett R. Smith as extremists. So yeah, and I was angry when Bleeding Cool tried to link me to the alt-right. Yeah. I was angry then.
What's your anger like? How did that manifest itself?
This is my angry face. No, you know, I mean, like everybody else, you know, seething rage, but you deal with it, you know, as best that you can. You know, these people like Rich Johnston, you know, they didn't just want to, you know, put a stink in the air about you. They wanted to ruin your livelihood. They wanted to see you homeless and, you know, completely destroyed, you know, being called extremists, white supremacists, alt-right, you know, the whole list, bigots, homophobes, all that stuff. Those are all meant to destroy people.
I saw someone the other day I did something I don't do anymore. I used to do it all the time when I worked for DC. I used to vanity search my name. This is a bad idea for me to do now, you know, because enough people actually tag me that there's enough reading for me to do. Like if I want to read people's tweets, and I'll read tweets, then there's enough people who are actually directly trying to interact with me that I can actually read. But to actually search for people talking about me, you know, without tagging me is a risky thing to do. And I went ahead and I did it. And somebody was thanking Rich Johnson for exposing me, quote unquote, exposing me. And that was infuriating. That was absolutely infuriating. And I had to stop myself from commenting. And I realized commenting, you know, it's like, would be like, hey, what are you doing? Vanity searching it. The idea that like Rich Johnson exposed us, or that these people exposed us, is just, again, it's one of those things that makes me very, very angry. You know, because what did Rich Johnson do? Rich Johnson basically insinuated that I, you know, love Nazis, or I am a Nazi. And then basically what he did, what his article was just opening up the floodgates to anyone who hates me. Is there anyone out there who hates Ethan that wants to say some shit about him? Okay, I'm going to publish all that. And then I'm going to interview this Daryl Ayo clown, you know, and let him say whatever he wants to say about Ethan, you know, unanswered. And I'm going to call that an article. And then you have an SJW on Twitter going, thank you for exposing Ethan Van Sciver. That pisses me off. Did you feel like that? I mean, do you get that in your heart?
Yeah,
what does it feel like to you?
Seething rage, man. I mean, you know, but you know, I'm the guy that, you know, when I reply, I rewrite it, you know, and then by the time I'm ready to hit send, you know, most of it has subsided. So I did
that yesterday. It's like I wrote up what I wanted to say to someone, and then I deleted it.
Yeah, I've done that way more times than I care to admit. But, you know, it's the only way. I mean, where I'm just like, if I hit send right now, it's the bomb's going off. And then I'm like, nope.
There's going to be trouble. Yeah. If I let people know how I actually feel, I got to. So, yeah, I just, you know, talking to Andrew about this, and I actually was talking to a couple of other people, and I'm, you know, it's just like, yeah, I feel, you know, this is going to sound like a joke, but I feel heavy sometimes. I feel weighed down by all this. It's not just physically heavy, even though that's definitely happening too. You know, I eat a lot of pie and sandwiches. But, you know, I feel heavy. I feel weighed down by it. I feel weighed down by what I feel like is a responsibility. I can't just let go of this stuff. I can't do it. You know, I want to keep going because I want to fight and win.
I think that's why a lot of us are here, is, you know, because we can't let go. You know, when we see these behaviors going on, you know, there's plenty of people, you know, in the industry that'll just turn a blind eye to it and move on with their stuff. But, you know, our type of personality, I mean, we got to bite and dig in, man.
Yeah.
It's very hard to let things go. You know, when there's this much at stake, you know, again, I mean, it's different when someone calls you, you know, fat, or they're trying to just insult you or whatnot. And that's one thing. But once they start trying to link you as a racist and, you know, these other things, it's like, you can't let that stuff just go out. It has to be challenged, and you have to get in there and you have to fight it. Because that's what they want you to do. They want you to slink off and, you know, die somewhere. So,
that's the hope, isn't it? That's the hope that you're going to quit. So I don't want to quit. I don't think you do either. And you know, I admire that about you. So here's what you're doing. You're doing something that is absolutely spectacular. You're doing something that I wish everybody would have done. You know, you're doing your own comic book. And I admire the hell out of you for this, because this comic book to me just looks like something that Marvel Comics should be doing. So much about what we're actually producing as a group of disaffected comic book professionals, and in some cases fans that are actually producing work, just looks like the answer. And I hear people talking all the time about, you know, hey, you know, Comicsgate was about, you know, fighting really hard to get people at Marvel and DC to listen to us. And that I think that's what 2017 and 2018 were about.
Yeah. And then we came to the realization they're not going to listen. It's no good. I mean, there has to be this huge societal shift to come along to really open their eyes. You know, hopefully that's coming. You know, I feel like it's coming, but with the elections coming up, I mean, it could all go right back, you know, to the Nazi hunting stuff again.
Oh, it definitely will. Yeah. 2020 is going to be a mess.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to be in fighting shape. You know, I think we need to be prepared. You know, because these people are going to get worse. I think they've laid fallow for a little while because their attitude is that, well, you know, if we don't fight back, then they're not going to succeed. SJWs think that the entire reason that we're doing this is to own the SJWs. They think they're so arrogant, they're so narcissistic, that they think that the reason why Graveyard Shift Volume 2 would ever come to be is because you need to hurt them somehow. What's your answer to that?
I'm making books for comic book fans like me. So I think that's what Comicsgate is about. It's about, look, we're trying to get stuff back to how it used to be, where, you know, you can, you know, tell the story for the story's sake. You don't have to go through a quota system. You don't have to have, you know, one black, one Latino, one gay, one this, one that, with that. And that stuff's all fine, but when it becomes this mandated system, this editorial critique of, hey, you know what would be better? Throw in, take this hero out of this suit and let's put in our propaganda into it, and then we're gonna try and sell that to the audience. So,
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that exactly? Why shouldn't you do that? In your opinion?
Because well, one, you spend 30 years, 40 years, 50 years building up these characters. You have generations involved with them. And, you know, that's what they want to, you know, that's what they want to read. You know, they want to read the Steve Rogers. They want to read the, you know, the Falcon. They want to read these characters that they already know and love. And when people see that it's agenda driven, it puts a bad taste in their mouth. And clearly it's agenda driven. I mean, the tweets from 2016, 17, from Marvel editors, you know, would have told you as such, or have told you as such. You know, and look, if you want to put in these things, that's fine, but you have to create new characters that are the representation that you want, and you do just like the creators of these other characters do, and you invest the time into the characters so they build and grow and become, you know, organic characters into mainstream Marvel or DC comics. But it's a shortcut is what they're doing. So they take Captain America out, or they take Thor out, and then they push their agenda in. So
yeah, is it possible to know that the reason why we the reason why we like Peter Parker or Captain America or Iron Man or Wolverine or any of these characters is because they're the same skin color as us? I mean, I wonder about this all the time. I actually like objectively look at what SJWs are saying, and I'm like, is it because am I comfortable with these characters because they're white? Am I secretly a white supremacist and it's just something I've never confronted about myself? And I ask myself those questions, and I don't think I am. I don't think there's any validity to that.
Yeah, I like Blade. I like the movie. I'm the worst kind of white supremacist. So, yeah, you know, and you know,
how do you know you're not? How do you know you're not?
Well, because
how do you know that you're? Well, I mean, that's a thing. Like, I want to have an answer to that. I want to know, like, why. Because there was a time, yeah, you know, it's like you look at some of these characters, and actually making a black superhero in the 1960s was a thing. I mean, that was, you know, creating Black Panther was a statement in the 1960s. Somebody like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, I mean, were they white supremacists? I don't know, but they were making an awful lot of white characters. They were generating an awful lot of white male superheroes. And so, you know, what's the reason for that? Now, I kind of feel like the reason why I like these characters is because I know them so well. You know, I've just grown up with them, and Peter Parker is real to me. You know, Superman is definitely real to me. Bruce Wayne is real to me. But I do you think, like, I go back and I think about, like, you know, putting these ideas, filling people with shame and doubt about their love for these characters, and that just seems to be another weapon that they employ. Like, for me to sit there and think, well, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm racist because I do love these characters who happen to be white. You know, now I have to second guess myself and perhaps sacrifice these characters on their altar so that they can replace them with shallow diversity stand-ins. It's a mind game, isn't it? It's just an endless mind game.
Yeah, you'll never win. Once you play the game, you can't win. You will never have enough representation for what you want. It's not about building up the character. It's about hitting these check boxes. Do we have one of these? Do we have that one? Do we have this guy represented? Is there enough of this, that, or that? It's anti-art. It's anti-creativity. And that's the thing too, is I think what it is people who are not creative, like that's like your go-to creative move, is when you're sitting in an editorial position and you're just really clueless. You know, you say, well, how do I contribute? And then you start looking at skin colors. You start looking at, you know, how many testicles are on a character, and what the representation is, because that makes you feel creative, but it's not. You're just the worst type of human being ever.
Yeah. I just kind of do what feels natural when I'm creating characters. You know, I remember being at DC, and there being times where I deliberately gender or race swapped characters. One in particular, it was so weird. It wasn't an SJW thing, you know. It just kind of happened. There's a character for Green Lantern called Tattooed Man, and a Tattooed Man, basically his tattoos come off his skin and they come to life. They're like tattoo constructs.
Okay.
He used to look like Popeye the Sailor, like he was based on Popeye the Sailor. But we didn't want to do that. Jeff wanted to create a new Tattooed Man, and he gave it to me, and I said, I want to make him black. And Jeff was like, oh, that's cool. And I don't even remember why I did that, but like I took Tattooed Man and I guess because I wanted him to be different than the old one. You know, it's like, this is not the original Tattooed Man. This is clearly a new Tattooed Man. And that Tattooed Man ended up getting used in a bunch of other DC projects as well. I think that was Green Lantern #9 that I created him in. But that just felt organic to me. I didn't do it because I was just like, hey, I want woke, you know, these are woke points. I'm trying to add to diversity. I think I was genuinely trying to create a new character, you know. But this is all part of like what they do. I really think that, you know, what they want to do is they want to create that kind of doubt, that kind of fear and doubt, suspicion. They want you to be introspective and then not have an answer. You know, when they come to, you know, the video game industry and say, your video games, you realize they're sexist and racist, right? Well, you know, look at Super Mario Brothers. You know, I mean, why are you a white male saving a helpless woman from, you know, this big gorilla? You know, why can't this woman save herself? And you go, oh shit, I never looked at it that way.
Oh, that's Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, Donkey Kong, of course. Mario Brothers
was a giant turtle or turtle dragon or something, yeah, right?
I shouldn't have said that. I knew that too. Like that's the extent of my video game knowledge. Is like, you know, the original 80s arcades.
Yeah.
God, I love that shit.
Good times, man. Yeah, I was just reminiscing on original 80s arcades just a few days ago. Asteroid. Oh yeah, it was Asteroid because the Mike Miller route to getting that membership is you have to be playing video games. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just play a video of someone playing video games. And I found a video of Asteroid. Like, that'll do it. So I just put it on there and watched that for a little bit. But yeah, man, back in the day, that was it. And that's what I was saying was like my earliest memory, video game memory, was actually my mom holding me up like in a laundromat to play Asteroid on a arcade.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Yeah. So
let me let Cecil in here. Let's get Narwhal.
Oh my gosh. Cecil,
hello, everybody.
Turn on light.
Couple of superheroes are here. It's too dark.
Extra creepy.
Cecil, you look great.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
It's good to have you here. Tonight is, of course, the night that we're advertising Graveyard Shift 2. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about, John's whole method of creating. But, for some reason, I'm starting out talking about, the way these gates happen, these geeker gators. It's like, you say, hey, I think the hobby that you're into is really sexist and racist. And then you let them in. Guys like us who are very sensitive. We look inwards, all the time. We're very introspective. If you tell us we're sexist and racist, we stop for a minute, perhaps. I mean, we don't anymore, but maybe we used to, we used to kind of be open to that kind of the thing. See, so when somebody tells you you're sexist and racist, what's your attitude?
It's usually some stupid broad, so I don't listen.
Yeah. That's something that most people kind of, I think, just let people into, though. They kind of allow people to sow doubt like that. All right, so Graveyard Shift Volume 2, Narwhal. This is, have you backed this yet, Narwhal?
Not yet. I backed the first one. I will, though.
Oh, hell no.
Your facial hair is really starting to come in, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a lymph node beard. It's all over my lymph nodes. I don't know what that means. It's real frizzy.
With the mask on and the hat, because there's very little skin showing, you look like the dog face boy from the circus. And I mean that in a nice way. I don't mean that in a bad way. But you've got a lot of fur on your face.
Yeah. And this countenance is for sale on a shirt. So one day it'll catch on, but not yet.
Soy Zorro.
Why do we pass over what does that mean, a lymph node beard?
It just means it's like right here. I can grab it.
Right? Aren't lymph nodes your glands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all over your face. Your lymph nodes are on your neck.
Yeah, it's like a neck beard. It's like a version of the neck beard.
What is a neck beard, and what are people's problems with a neck beard? That became kind of a phrase. I think a neck beard is when you just let it grow down your neck. You don't shave under your chin, or what?
Yeah, like I had a basketball coach in high school. His beard connected to his chest hair. So that's a type of beard as well.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like the balance of testosterone. If you're not really growing a mustache and you're just growing
I
neck
think
beard.
that's what it is. It's like a wispy mustache and chin, but your neck fills in.
Yeah.
I thought a neck beard was when they shave everything except their neck, so that what they're doing is they're trying to make it look like they have a jaw.
That's the chin
that's something
strap.
too.
Is that not a neck beard?
Only like the Amish and Islamic terrorists wear that style.
Yeah, it's like having an airplane pillow,
which is weird. Those two groups are the people who have the chin strap. They have probably nothing to do with each other, Amish and Muslims.
See, Mike,
they rock the chin strap.
Yeah. If you get enough of a beard, it's like a stabilizer for your head. You could fall asleep standing up, and your beard will stabilize you.
That's the dream.
Oh, that's creepy. That I want to shave my beard like Prince. I want to get under my mustache and just leave this thin thing here, and then make a nice little design on the sides.
Yeah, like John Waters, you mean?
Yeah, John Waters had it too, but I saw it on a Prince cover, and I went, "Wow, I'd really like to bring that to the barber and say I want one of these." I want to look like a gay waiter, from the 1800s. I mean, what is that? What is that look?
I've heard that called a pencil mustache.
Mitch is going for right now.
Yeah. Mitch is breaking down a lot of doors for the rest of us who want.
Is Mitch doing that? Is Mitch getting the
the John Waters? Yeah.
No, he's not. Is he?
Really? He's got the dirty Frenchman. That's what I call it. But it's starting to fill in, which is bothering me. I like.
Yeah, but I think his wife told him it's got to go.
No.
I don't know why he's doing that. Mitch is getting eccentric in his old age.
I like it. I'm a fan of the mustache.
Are you really? I see him with that mustache working in the dark, sitting there working on his Red Rooster pages, and he looks like he's in another era. He looks like he's a man of another time. I have to say, I love watching him draw too. I love watching Mitch draw.
You don't like drawing streams though for yourself.
Yeah, but you don't get a choice with Mitch. With Mitch, Mitch is terrible at talking. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like when Mitch tries to talk and do a live stream, just naturally, he stutters, he's nervous. He comes across as nervous. So what you want Mitch to do is you want Mitch to draw and then just occasionally comment to his fans. But like just talking like extemporaneously, as we gentlemen do, is tough for him. It's not something that everybody can do, and it's something he's not really comfortable doing. So I'd much prefer watching him draw. I also like watching John Malin draw because because John, you draw like with bold, simple strokes, and so your drawing comes together really quick. It's really entertaining. You know,
thanks, yeah. Drawn and quarters probably helped with that because we're trying to get a lot done in 2 hours. So I do tend to dominate.
Yeah, you win every single time, unless I'm there
all the time.
Yeah.
If Mitch grows his mustache long enough, you can actually filter pulpy orange juice like how a whale filters krill through it.
I don't know how you eat with that. Like my mustache has gotten down into my mouth. And Andrea has to come in and clip it with scissors. She's like, stop it. Like it gets caught in your mouth when you're trying to eat.
Yeah, that's kind of nice to have a lady do that for you. I'd grow a mustache just for that purpose. But you can chew on it too. I don't know. Some people chew on it like a cow chews on cud.
It's terrible. 1/8 of an inch above the lip.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're saying EVS just called John simple. I didn't call John simple. I said his drawing style is easy to. It's quick. It's simple strokes. Like me, I'll labor over a texture. It's so boring to watch. I would not do a live stream like drawing. Have to do a sped up video.
Although privately you do, to me, you refer to him as Simple John.
I've never once.
Oh no,
I've never once. So, in any case, John's Graveyard Shift 2 is available right now. We've got 4 more days to get this thing going, and we need to get it to 150 what?
151.2, I think, in order to beat Mike Miller. What Mike raised in his 60 days. That's the goal. That's the only goal at this point is stomping all over Mike Miller.
Oh, jeez. That's bad timing for this. Okay, Graveyard Shift 2. John's goal is to beat Mike Miller, get it to 151. I clicked it a little while ago. It jumped forward a little bit. We got a couple more backers here, but nice. The link's in the description. You guys, back Graveyard Shift Volume 2. Here's my prediction. You are going to get to 160.
Whoa.
In 4 days, that's my prediction. Just looking at this right now, the last 48 hours are a big deal, and you could get past that. I've noticed that those last 4 days are kind of moving for people lately.
Yeah, that'd be great because we have a stretch goal at 170 where we're going to add an 80-page book for all backers. And actually, Ethan, if you're in your Hangout and if you can share that screen.
Oh, I just clicked out. Yeah, let me get back to it. Sure. I thought you were going to ask me to do the book. I was like,
this is the premiere of the cover for the 80-page book.
Where?
It's in the StreamYard.
It's in the. I'm sorry. It's in the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Okay, stop sharing my screen. Right here, add to stream.
There you go.
Holy.
That's written by Mark Polton, the same writer and co-creator of Graveyard Shift, and drawn by Mike McMahon, who's drawing one of the supplemental stories for Graveyard Shift as well. U.S. Assassin, 80 pages. This is all of Volume 1, and they are working on Volume 2 right now. So if we make it, all backers, everyone gets a copy of this book, 80 pages, completely free.
And if you don't make it, what? Right in the trash?
If we don't make it, then it'll probably get bundled up with Volume 2, and they will try to launch it as probably a combined campaign. I don't really know what their full goals are going to be.
Yeah, that'll be tough. If you, let's get it to 170. What's the big deal? I think we can do it.
That's a big old stretch goal. Yeah. Otherwise, they bury all the copies in the desert. There
you go. Right next to the ET video game.
Yeah.
Did you see that documentary where they were digging up ET video games?
Yeah. Yeah, they found them too.
I can't believe it. They actually found that stuff. I thought that was an urban legend, but it was for real.
Yeah, the game was so bad they just trashed them all.
I really resent that.
I think some got out, didn't they?
Yeah, no. A lot of them got out. I played the video game. I remember it.
You fall into a pit and it's over. They made a pit that you can fall into, and there's absolutely no way in the game for you to get out of it. So kids would play it up to a certain point. ET would fall in the pit, and then they would just spend.
Dude, that was it. That's all it
That was
was.
it, the end of the game.
Did you play it, Cecil? Do you remember it?
No, I've watched videos on it.
Level 4 says Comicsgate is taking comics to the next level, which I guess is level 5. Thank you, level 4. Cracklin,
Nice.
thanks for $1.99. How do you develop your plots? God, that's a tough question. What do you think, John?
Well, for these specific, there's not too much involved, but when I do plot, I try to get beginning, middle, end, and then I think of it like a fractal, and then you take from the beginning to the middle, and then you try to find another beginning, middle, end within that.
Are you talking
Eventually,
about?
you could have a much larger story than what you initially intended, but it can grow and grow and grow from that.
That's what I was
Macro
wondering.
to micro. That's how I draw it too. Macro to micro.
Do you have an ending already for the entire series of Graveyard Shift?
Mark may have something in plan. I do not. No, with Graveyard Shift, I only kind of helped guide along things that I wanted to kind of deal with in the story.
For plots too, you want to think about characters also. Don't have them doing stuff out of character. So the bird's eye view helps with that too when you're thinking about the characters in the beginning, to have it line up with what you want to happen.
Now, Ethan, you had a whole. Did he leave?
No, I'm right here. I'm right here. Jimmy Palmiotti told me one time when he was writing, he just said, "Look, why don't you think about the ending first? How's it going to end, and then you work."
Uh-oh, you okay? You okay, Ethan?
Press F in chat.
Do we need to call 911?
No. Okay, am I back?
There he is.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Stupid internet. Yeah, so Jimmy Palmiotti used to just say, hey, write the ending first, or at least figure out what the ending is, and then work your way backwards. And I thought that was an interesting way to do it.
But now, like a story for Cyberfrog, you have an entire arc for the entire story, which is multiple books. So how do you break it into smaller beginning, middle? Each book has to have a beginning, middle, and end, but it's working in a bigger overarching beginning, middle, and end.
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to go away from that. Part of me just wants to. Are
you going to keep it ongoing then?
Yes. Yeah. I keep it just ongoing, but just be like, first 48 pages, just end it. We're at page 48. It's over. This one. It's almost like taking a big chunk of chocolate, because everything is food to me, and then just breaking a chunk off, rather than those nice, neat little Hershey bars that break off. Just a big chunk of chocolate. Just break it off. Eventually, you're going to get the whole thing, but you get it in chunks.
What would be interesting for Cyberfrog, since he was kind of like a mistake, like he was supposed to come and become a human.
Yeah.
If he encountered like an alternate dimensions version of himself where he was the human, where he actually did become the human and stop the invasion, and he gets to meet. And I'm just saying, like, if you're doing this for years,
it would be
weird to see what he would have been if he actually did the right. It worked out right.
Well, yeah, there's no reason to make that an alternate dimension thing, though.
Why? Because he'd be a human, not a frog.
I don't want to say. I mean, that might be part of what's coming up. So,
did I stumble on something here?
Kind of, but it's okay.
Well, I hope when it's revealed that he's a very progressive frog.
Yep.
I mean, the thing about this Cyberfrog story is it can go on and on and on. I mean, I started out just thinking it was going to be 4 parts, and I think it needs to be more than that. And I just keep thinking of more and more ideas for it, and I never want to stop. I kind of feel like Rainbow the Brute's in the way. I should just give it to Donald DeLay. Just let him do it, and then the next Cyberfrog. By the way, if Donald's listening, he's like, yes, please. Donald's been like, can I draw Rainbow the Brute? It's like,
so how much on lockdown are your ideas for that, Ethan? Like, are you pretty, like, for your first 4 arcs? Are you? I mean, do you think they're going to fluctuate as you go along, or are you pretty much like, that's what I'm going to do, bam, 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 and then the next ones are coming up?
Well, here's how it is. It's like, okay, so certain things happen. Okay, like certain big events happen. I have the answer to the whole story. It's like, well, what do you do? What's he gonna? I have the answer. Okay, so I have like the ending and you know, a lot of story beats along the way. But no, I can make different things happen. I mean, I can, you know, I can come up with new stuff as long as it kind of serves the, you know, the purpose of moving the story forwards. The key thing is, you know, what is Cyberfrog here for, and how is he going to turn back the invasion? Like, you know, there's a reason why Cyberfrog is here. Why? And then, you know, of course, you know, well, I don't want to spoil anything. You guys are going to get the book on Friday, but it's there's an answer to all of this. But the first issue is just largely just set up, and it's like the you know, putting the situation in play. It's almost all exposition, which I really wish I could make a 200-page book. I wish I could draw faster, John. You know, I'm just not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's frustrating.
Well, you're very detail oriented. I mean, I don't know how you could go any quicker than what you're doing right now. You don't even do pencils. I mean, you do a gesture and do everything from that.
Yeah.
You clone yourself.
Oh, I know. I don't know how you know, why I do the things that I do.
Why don't you ask the Hut for help? He could probably help streamline your process.
I wish the Hut would come on here. I'd love to talk to that guy. He's a weirdo. Like, he's afraid to come on here and talk. People are like, why don't you come debate Ethan? And he said, I think that wouldn't be good for my health. What the hell does that mean? What am I going to have you whacked out? It's like, what does he think? These people are all nuts. You know, it's like Ethan is, you know, Ethan's got a bookie. Ethan's a mafia kingpin. This, I don't know. Cecil, is everybody crazy?
He's legit crazy, but it's great. He's like the best kind of crazy because he's harmless crazy.
Yeah.
But
is he harmless?
I mean, maybe not to small animals, but I feel like I could briskly walk away from him.
I could too. You know, sometimes I've listened to a lot of his videos, not all of them, because sometimes I'm just like, oh God, he's going on and on about how I'm late. I can't, like, the idea of Cyberfrog being late really gets under my skin.
Did you see the title of his tonight's?
The thing about me killing families and things, whatever that was.
Cyberfrog is so late that it's destroying marriages and families. Is the title.
I can't watch it. I can't bear it. I just can't. Like, that kind of thing really gets under my skin. What?
How many lives do you have to destroy, Ethan?
As many as possible. That's my whole purpose in doing a comic book, was just to make everybody miserable and destroy lives. I hope everybody can see that now.
I hope he has good examples of broken marriages and destroyed lives.
I hope so too.
Is it Mindy and her husband broke up last week?
No.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No. I mean, I don't know. That might be what he's talking about.
I was going to say, oh, I didn't have anything to do with that, did I? I mean, Christ. Yeah.
Couldn't you have just made the app?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It came between them.
That was so weird. Like, people, this is what happens over and over again. Like, people try to get something off of me, and sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't. Like, sometimes I just don't feel like it. I don't know what, like, I can't say yes to everybody. I don't want, and some stuff just I don't even understand. Like, Mindy pitched me this big app. It's a Comicsgate app. All these people have the, you know, this is something that a lot of people came up with all at once. All these people have this idea, like, yeah, well, we want to just make it more convenient for people to back Comicsgate projects, and it's just like, well, it's not that it's hard to find them. It's very expensive. I mean, these are expensive books. So, you know, it's not like people are like, boy, I really wish I knew of more $25 comics that I could sink money into and wait a year before I received. That's not something that people, you know, we bless them and thank them, and we're grateful that people actually do support these campaigns. But the idea of creating a shopping app just struck me as kind of, what would you say, dumb? Not dumb, but like callous almost.
Just nothing I have any expertise or interest in.
Well, that as well. But yeah, no expert. I wouldn't know how to do it, and I don't think it's a good idea. And you know, so yeah, like that was the whole thing. Like, there are people who join Comicsgate just they legitimately just want to catch a grift. You know, it's like, hey, there's some money here. Let me kind of see what I can do.
Yeah, you can sometimes sense the dollar signs in their eyes a little bit.
That's why I'm here. I'm playing the long game though. Real cool.
Attaboy, Cecil.
It'll pay off in the end. You know?
It's a 5-year plan.
Yeah. So that was the whole Mindy thing. And then, yeah, they go psychotic and they start yelling. Pocket Jack's Comics simply wanted to get his book promoted on one of my live streams and make $500, a reasonable request that I chose to ignore. And now he's got videos coming out in which he gesticulates wildly at the camera and makes sarcastic.
I haven't seen them. But I
shit. Do you want to watch one? I mean, it's
watch it with the sound off and get the gist, because he does the herky jerky movements of like.
Yeah, he acts like I just watch him. I'm like, I'm horrified by like his. I don't know what it is about him. I haven't really put it into words yet. I haven't figured out what about him disturbs me so much.
Tweetcast put it into words. He just wrote he's crazy. here's he looks. He gave him the diagnosis. Yeah, he's a little nuts. Like
that's.
Like, if you met him on the street, like walking up to you, you'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck is coming over here?" Because he's got the. I don't know. He does that shit. It's New York City like warning signs all over him. Like, all right, no eye contact.
He looks like the inbred brother from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you guys, I forget what they're called. The O'Doyle.
Oh yeah, two brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me show you a little Pocket Jack.
Yeah, the guy with the mole. Yeah. Westworld guy.
Oh, is there something about me? I mean, hold on a second. Should I do it about me or somebody else?
Like that guy, Narwhal. That's the dude. That actor from he looks exactly like an actor. He was the what's it called? He was the fake coffee editor guy on like Conan O'Brien or something on one of the late night shows. Well, let me go with the other one because that's about as obscure as you could get.
Westworld, the guy from Westworld.
I'll do. Yeah. What was it? Always.
The younger version of that old actor dude. I can't remember his name. He was in
I got him.
Truman Show.
All right. Oh, let me see here. Oops, I can't. I forgot that. You want to turn it? You want to watch him with the sound down? I mean, is that what you were saying, or should we listen to the sound?
Yeah, we could break down his body language.
Whatever you prefer. Yeah, I haven't seen any of these, so I don't know. What's in
Let's all put our body language expert hats on.
No, I'm playing sound. I think.
Yeah, so he's got the Doug to Naples body language going on.
Well, okay. You see what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So we're already off to a good start. Like it's
his eyebrows are out of control.
Yeah. Like I think he's drunk. Think he's drunk.
At least he has eyebrows. I'll give him that.
I gave him a thumbs down on this video. All right, let me sit here. All right.
Preston Poulter from Pocket Jack's Comics. I just got back from Tulsa. Oh my
Here you go.
God. My first experience with Tulsa when I was 16.
Do you know the Amazing Adam?
Yeah.
You know that guy? I made the comparison yesterday. I said, like, this guy is the Dr. Jekyll to the Amazing Adam's Mr. Hyde. Like, they look very similar and they behave kind of the same way. But, of course, Amazing Adam is a lot more brutish and crazy. But they kind of resemble each other. I don't know. And they both, hate my guts. So, all right, let's see. There's something about him I like, though. I actually kind of like this guy in a weird way.
When he was on my channel, he was, pretty normal. But now he looks like he's really laid back and drunk.
Yeah, I mean, he might be drunk. You have to just watch like his mannerisms.
I
like
traveled with family to go to judo tournament.
His eyes are always widening.
Connected with that family. The prior week.
Why would you put that up there?
That's where they live. So I was up there at Colorado Springs Comic Con. I don't kind of but Wizard World Tulsa was awesome. So back when I was 16, I was traveling up there for a judo tournament with that family, and I was driving. I was so excited to drive, and I got caught in a speed trap outside Tulsa. That was my first speeding ticket. I don't know why. The cop brought me back to his car, which had a spittoon, and he would spit while he would lecture me about whatever nonsense.
I'm kind of interested in him. You know what I mean? I'm kind of interested in the things he has to say. What do you think? Are you guys disgusted? Are you bored by this?
No, just
his Adam's apple's okay.
Yeah, that's going. That's moving a lot. You know. Okay.
No, he's humaning well. Let's see what else he's got.
All right.
Modern Law. I think he was just trying to sell the ticket, showing, oh well, this is the radar show. I don't know. I probably backed his card. That was weird. But that was my first experience with Tulsa. But my more recent experience with Tulsa has just been awesome. It's been great. I mean, they love me up here. Look at this.
He's got 20s. Okay, he might be nuts.
My credit cards, man. Well, I ran some of those too. That was a great show. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And you know, like the weird thing is, I was sitting there.
He's gonna just please brush that off your shoulder, please.
He doesn't know it's there.
Combat League up there.
Oh shit.
Guys, you know, I'm gonna give them a plug. I'm gonna put a link down to their website.
I don't know, guys. I kind of like him. Like, here's the thing. Like, he goes off on Tug, and he did a whole video about how Tug probably, you know, didn't. He knocked his own mailbox off, and so he's gonna knock his own mailbox off in order to raise a little money. I don't know. See, so what do you got here? Add to stream this.
That's the guy he looks like.
There.
The guy getting stabbed.
I just, you know, I don't know. He's one of them. He's this guy who wanted to come on the stream, get a little attention and so, you know.
But he's even said he's not Comicsgate. So what's the point? I mean, these guys just drive me insane. If you're not Comicsgate, then why would you expect that you would get a spot on Ethan's show?
On Comicsgate Live?
And if you're trying to break into Ethan, which is the top tier, like we've equated it to the Tonight Show, and then like, you know, I have a show that'll be like much smaller, but still like a platform and you can get on them. But yeah, it's like the 3 Ps: polite, persistent, and patient. And I don't know if he was doing those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he may have been, but he's still not Comicsgate. He flat out told me he's not Comicsgate, and I was like, oh. And then I took him because he was on my show, Comicsgate Presents, and I took him right off.
Is that what you did? Really? Are you strict about that? Like, you have to be Comicsgate or say you're Comicsgate?
Comicsgate Presents, yes, that is for Comicsgaters. If there's somebody that I'm into, you know, I may bring them on to my show, my channel. Period, you know, but it won't be on Comicsgate Presents. I'm not going to put somebody there that's not actually Comicsgate.
Yeah.
Alejandro Mirabal, he's not Comicsgate. But the guy's like a deep sea diver. I really want to have a conversation about that. So I brought him on my show and we had just a, you know, like a conversation. But it wasn't on Comicsgate Presents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yours is Comicsgate Live, so like, what does he want?
That's why he's crazy.
Yeah, people are saying he looks nuts. He's got $120. He threw it at himself. They think it's fake. Yeah, I don't know. When I listen to him talk about me, I don't like him. But you know, here's the thing. Like, this is the thing about that. Like, I'm the kind of guy. Like, I would have liked to have him on the show. I didn't know. Like, if he were on the show acting all nutty like that and expressive, I probably would have enjoyed his presence, you know. And it's like now, you know, with the benefit of, there's sometimes where you just kind of you accidentally do the right thing, and like not letting him on the show was like the best thing ever. Obviously that was the right thing to do, you know. Not helping him was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
you know?
He's not Comicsgate, so
no, he's not Comicsgate. And then I didn't even really look at his book. But this guy, like, his book is feminist. Like, this is the first female pilot in World War II. It's like, that's not what we are. Like, what, you know, to do a book like that, to do a book like all about the first woman who ever, that's mainstream. That's SJW. That's what they're doing. Like, that's not what we want.
Also,
what, the lisping?
No, she's a lesbian.
Oh, lesbian. Oh, great. She's the first lesbian World War II pilot. You are an SJW. You understand, like,
literally like out of the Marvel playbook. It's like, here's here's an indie book that's exactly like every Marvel book.
100%.
If she's a lesbian pilot, she attacks the enemy's flying V head on, and that's how she got famous.
Yeah,
That's why they wrote about her.
You want to know really how the most famous female pilot got famous?
how?
She got lost.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Name another female. I can only name one other female pilot, and she blew up in the space shuttle.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy is silly. So could you hear what he was saying, or like did you just see him? I can't. People are saying do a voiceover. No, okay, people did hear him. Okay, good.
People are too soon.
Yeah, people like your mask, Cecil. Good stuff.
Yeah, this was sent to me from Turkey.
Wow, you're getting a lot of good gifts from people, man.
I am. I really am.
Somebody put a lot of work into that. All right.
Too.
John and Narwhal, not Cecil. I've been talking about the death of DC Comics again. I talked about it yesterday. I talked about it again today. And I talked about how, look, things are not great, because of AT&T. It looks like, they're going to have a meeting on October 29th to see about trimming some more fat. And that's AT&T making, deciding that what kind of fat to trim. So things aren't terrific. And I noticed something today that I wanted to bring to your attention because it's pretty funny. Like, as I say that, people go, are you paranoid? Are you just making that up? Why should we believe that this is something that could be happening? Well, let me just show you this, which is pretty funny. We've got two articles today, Newsarama. DC editor Rob Levin named Humanoids new senior editor. That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's where Mark Waid went, right? Humanoids?
Yeah. Rob Levin has been named the new senior editor of Humanoids. That's Mark Waid and Kwanzaa. I think Mags is over there too.
Oh, really?
It's like an all-star team.
Yeah, an all-star team. I don't know Rob Levin at all. I don't think I ever met him. I wish him well. But it's interesting. All right, so he's been working at DC editorial for the past 4 years in the Justice League and Batman offices. Levin takes over Humanoid's senior editor position for writer-artist Fabrice Sapolsky. And the company says Sapolsky will continue to have a role at Humanoids, but did not share any specific title. Based out of Humanoids' Los Angeles offices, which is, I guess, where Rob lives now because he's at DC, Levin will oversee the company's English language content across its imprints alongside Sapolsky, Chief Creative Officer John Cassaday, and Director of Creative Development Mark Waid. All right, so Levin joined DC in October 2016 after working previously as an editor for CBR, Radical Publishing, Top Cow, Archaea Press, and Image Comics. Oh, that's interesting. So just one guy left DC. Oh, hold on. Here's another one. Molly Mann jumps to Riot Games from DC Comics.
Whoa.
Wait till you see who this person is. You're going to love this.
Is that picture accurate, the drawing?
Of course it is, Cecil. Women are not going to have a drawing of them that improves on their looks. That's sexist.
Why do they do this? That's 2 cartoon drawings in a row. Well, this guy's got a cartoon drawing of himself here. And then she said,
because that's how you know they really love the art.
They love art.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Molly Mann, credit Philip Bond. Philip Bond drew Kill Your Boyfriend for Grant Morrison. That was a great book. I think that was him. DC editor Molly Mann has accepted a position as senior narrative director at Riot Games. Senior narrative director. At Riot, Mann will edit comics as well as other content for the company's franchises, including League of Legends, which Marvel publishes as a licensed comic book. Mann joined DC in 2015, working her way up from assistant editor to associate editor, then full editor in May 2017, after working for years on DC's Vertigo titles. Earlier this year, she shifted to the Bat offices, working under Jamie S. Rich, whom she previously worked for at Vertigo. Mann previously worked as an editor for Dynamite, has a degree in philosophy from Texas Christian University. 2 in 1 day, guys. How many tomorrow?
It's like that saying, rats leaving a sinking ship.
I got pictures of the two of them, real pictures. Actually, she's not a monster. I'm surprised.
I don't know too many monsters, you know.
Well, usually when the chick does the cartoon drawing of themselves,
that's for sure. And this one actually makes her look like she could be a little overweight, to be fair.
here she is. If you want to look, I got
okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's nice.
You know,
there's the guy,
and that guy does look exactly like his drawing. He's even got the eyebrow raised. How do they do that? What's with the raised eyebrow? What are we saying? That he's suspicious?
He's got a little neck beard. It's a little thicker around the chin than around the rest. But he's still, but you know, he's handsome.
So you've got this Bleeding Cool article. This is a Bleeding Cool article that points out both of them in one.
Yep.
All right. So here's what I think is going on. Okay. When we say that people are going to be fired, there are going to be redundancies, as it were. These people are getting an advance warning, and they've known for a little while. They're able to go find new spots. That's the best way to do this, Cecil. Right or wrong?
Yeah, that's it. The ship is sinking.
Al Lewis says another soy weasel. I love soy weasel.
In the past, when this has happened, like SJWs, there'll be they give sources to the articles and they're complaining real heavily about it. So maybe they're trying to curb some of that, but they'll still kind of eat each other and complain, I think.
Yeah.
I just hope Marvel doesn't, collapse before J-Team is released.
You want to review J-Team, huh?
Yeah, that's
justice.
That's going to save Marvel.
Jesus Christ. Oh, it's the end. It's the end.
Nick Lowe's never been this excited about a new team before.
He knows it
before.
He's told you before, but this time he really means it.
This time I mean it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it does seem like the end. I see that and I'm like, all right, get ready for more. There's going to be more redundancies, more people magically finding their dream jobs somewhere else. And, October 29th, I think that's the date, man. I said it was going to be in 2 years. I don't know. I don't want to put that down on paper because, I said that, hey, look, September, Kathleen Kennedy's going to go. But boy, does that look good.
So does this mean DC is going to die before Marvel?
It means that DC's going to be, they could consider DC Comics for divestment. They could sell it to someone else, the publishing arm.
What's going to happen to the highest up guy like Jim Lee when you get it way up?
God only knows, man. I don't even know. But, you're going to see, there's going to be mass layoffs. There are going to be all kinds of layoffs.
Well, Zach had a theory that, of course they'll always publish, Batman, Superman, Justice League, but they'll just won't do it through Diamond they'll just publish it and sell it like in stores. It'll be like a premiere, only graphic novels, maybe hardcovers at first, but so the top tier people will have jobs and that's it, just producing the big name. I think that's what Zach was trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think Zach is right. I think you want to see the future of DC Comics? Zach is kind of right, but he's wrong about people having work. It's like there's going to be no work.
As a small group,
No, the work's already done. Here it is. Details on DC Comics 100-page Giants with John Layman. What the Gail Simone, Mark Russell, Amanda Codd. See, this is Bleeding Cool, so they're trolling you. They're trying to show you that the message from Rich Johnson here, you always have to read between the lines. Rich Johnson is basically saying, yeah, DC's dying, but John Layman's going to be okay. So is Gail Simone, Mark Russell, and Tom Taylor. I don't know why he put Amanda Connor. She's an artist. She's innocent as far as I know. But these SJWs, 1, 2, 3, 4 SJWs, they're going to be fine. And here's what it is. 100-page Giants. DC's 100-page Giants. This is the end of DC Comics right here. They are going to be in stores. They're going to be in Walmart and Target. They're going to be in comic book stores too. But see, this is just all reprint material. And there might be one new story in there. I don't know. There might be new covers. But this is not a sustainable industry. This is not an industry that people can work in and pay their bills. This is just DC Comics just kind of, look at this. Green Lantern story in here.
Yeah, I don't like all the graphics over the art for those. It looks hokey.
It's like, look at all the stuff you get in 100 pages. You know, look at all this. And it's, how much is it? Like $5? Yeah, $5. And I think I was in a bunch of these. I think I received royalties for these. You know, they reprinted the first 5 issues of Green Lantern or something that I did. And I got a nice check. You know, I got a nice royalty check for this. But yeah, this is it, man. This is where it's all going. And why would they need to do anything else? It's like you look at what would AT&T say? By the way, look, here's my girl right here that I think they just killed.
They're not going to kill her.
Are you sure?
They're going to kill a Hispanic female character while they're launching all this stuff, diversity stuff. No way.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That would be funny meta like levels of anti-Comicsgate if they start researching all the characters you've worked on or created, then they start killing them off.
Yeah, that would suck. I would hate for them to do that. I still get nice royalty checks from DC.
Yeah, that would actually kind of be a blow. Like it'd hurt your feelings.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings. I would just be like, yeah. Well, I'm not emotionally attached to any of that stuff, you know.
What book is that?
This would be Superhero Girl. So this is based on their toy line. Now this is pretty successful. You know, Ava wanted a few of these. Ava had Wonder Woman and Supergirl from this, and they're basically Barbies. You know, they're superhero Barbies. You know, superheroes for girls. So this line actually did work, and DC or Marvel Comics tried to copy it with their bullshit.
Captain Marvel and America Chavez. It did not work.
Squirrel Girl. Yeah, Barbies, just hideous Barbie dolls of their female, like, and not even their good female characters. Like, not Invisible Girl, not Jean Grey. America Chavez, Squirrel Girl, you know, characters that nobody wants. Ms. Marvel.
They give him the side of the head shaved haircut too, Marvel did. That's kind of the litmus test when you know they're entering clown world, inverting everything.
Yeah. Unhinged Crank says, EVS, you should interview Didio on a live stream. Yeah, that'll happen. Hey, Dan, do you want to put yourself in my hands for a live stream at a point where DC Comics is about to die? Probably
Power
not to mention the super chats coming in.
Yeah, please ignore all the people calling you cuck in the chat. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen, guys.
Look, fake Dan Didio's in the chat.
Fix this now, Ethan. Fix this now.
Call off your fucking dogs.
Yeah, look at this. Why do DC's new comics all seem to be geared toward young children? I'm seeing a trend here because that's where you get new readers from. Bullshit. Because these are going to be in Walmart and Target. That's why. You know, they're going to be in Walmart and Target. You know, this is it. Comic books are going to kind of take a big step backwards. And it's just going to be reprint material. It's just going to be mostly reprint material. New cover by Doug Monkey. That's good. You know, that's interesting. What do you think of this?
Cover work for people to repackage it.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cover, though. Doug did a good job.
Yeah, I think it's just going to bring out mediocrity. It's going to have mass appeal, and with it being kind of geared towards kids, I don't have high hopes for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and haven't they? I thought they've tested and realized that doesn't work. Kids play apps, and in the new age, kids don't read comics. Like they play video games, VR. They put on their VR headset. Whatever.
Yeah, but little kids are grabby. They'll see something and they'll be like, "Ooh, I want," and then the mom or dad will be like, "Okay."
Really, so, I wonder. It's like I used to be like that with comic books, but I don't know if these kids are like that. I don't know if these kids want books and magazines.
How old are your kids, Ethan?
I've got a 3-year-old, I've got a 12-year-old, and I've got a 20-year-old.
Did you observed anything like the 12-year-old liking comics or anything?
Well, she's a girl, and no, she's not interested in comics. Hunter was never interested in comics, ever, not even once. And Ava could be, because Ava is showing a proclivity, an interest in superheroes. And she made me like, she's so brave. It's funny. Like, she fell down and skinned her knee. And I was like, oh, that's got to hurt. And she got up and said, superhero. I'm okay. Superhero. And I was like, oh my goodness. You know, it's like, she's being brave.
That's anti-SJW already. Getting us started on that.
She's got like, she likes Super Y on PBS, this little kids superhero show where the powers are that the heroes learn how to read. You know, they can read and get
boring.
She's just like superheroes. So, you know, yeah, she could be kind of me. You know, Hunter's not me at all. Hunter's exactly like his mom, you know, but Ava could be like me.
You should have corrected her. Been like, superheroes never fall down, honey.
You wouldn't have fallen in the first place.
Not exactly a real superhero.
Yeah. John Whalen said, you let her fall. You know, this is a different time. This is a different time. No. On my birthday, we went apple picking, and Ava was climbing up up this jungle gym, and she's up three rungs up, about 3 feet off the ground, and she goes for a bigger rung. You know, like, she's gonna make this crazy step, and I just went, "You're gonna fall. You know, you're gonna fall." And she's like, looked at me and she waved me off. You know, and she did. She took a step and she fell. And I was just like, now what? You know, this is what happened. She got up and she's just like, I'm okay. Yeah, well, don't do stuff like that. For goodness sakes. So that was a controversial bit of parenting, you know. What do you think, John?
Kids.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Glad they're your problems, not mine.
John, what do you think of this cover here?
Yeah. I don't know. Batman's going to get his hand bit off by something.
Is that Clayface?
Yeah, that's Clayface.
It's Clayface.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't look like clay, does it?
I'm not
Like
easy enough to tell you what he looks like in the books. I could tell you what he looked like in the cartoon.
No. I mean, the substance all around Batman. Does that look like clay, or does that look like offal and meat?
Yeah, it looks tendrily.
You know, it looks like he's busting out of, you know, the inside of a cow.
Whoa.
That's my opinion. Maybe bat cow.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this. Oh, it's Dan Panosian.
Gross.
Dan Panosian's Flash.
Don't worry, Dan. You'll get there.
I know you don't like Dan. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know. Hold on, let me click on this article and see what's up with this.
Yeah,
Rob Liefeld forgives Sean Gordon Murphy, but not Andrew Rev. Bleeding Cool has been busting Rob Liefeld's balls nonstop for a month.
He unblocked me.
I saw that.
Yeah, back in the bosom.
How do you feel?
Like a newborn.
I think that's nice. I saw that he unblocked you, and I was kind of appreciative of that. Like, there was no reason to block you.
Yeah, I think it was part of a block bot. But Andrew Huerta finally broke through the ice. Yeah.
I wish he would do that for me.
Are you and Rob?
I'm definitely blocked by Rob. I think Rob doesn't like me because Rob. I used to host Rob Liefeld popularity polls in like 2012. You know, when it was all these Obama popularity polls that were being taken every single day. I did Rob Liefeld popularity polls as he was bashing DC Comics, and they would come in like he'd get 2 yes votes out of 200. And Rob's popularity is at 1% today. You know, things like that. And Rob didn't like that. I don't know.
Just some professional ribbing.
Yeah. Just joking. Rob Liefeld forgives Sean Gordon Murphy, but not Andrew Rev. Following up on this weekend's fanboy rampage battle between superstar artists Rob Liefeld and Sean Gordon Murphy, Liefeld has taken to Twitter to forgive Murphy for spreading gossip about him on DeviantArt back in the day. Forgive him for spreading it. That's interesting. I didn't know about this.
What kind of gossip?
I don't know. Here's a funny entry about an old lady who used to babysit Rob Liefeld. The story is told by someone that met that lady. And then this is Sean Gordon Murphy on DeviantArt. Oh, shit.
Don't click.
Or the link's dead, but it says right below what it's about.
Okay.
So keep reading.
Rob Liefeld says, yes, of course I'm aware of this absurd claim that Sean Gordon Murphy wrote about years back. I don't hold grudges, and the link is now dead. The thread's buried. The dead link apparently told the story of Liefeld running himself over with his own Dodge Viper. Something that Liefeld says was complete fiction. Our own Rich Johnson wrote in his CBR Lying in the Gutters column at the time. Sean Gordon Murphy writes an account of his dealings with Rob Liefeld that is mean, unfair, insulting, hateful, and downright nasty. Not the normal kind of thing I'd link to. However, he does recount one story from a woman who knew Rob Liefeld as she babysat him as a boy, that Rob Liefeld once ran over himself with his own new car. It's worth wading through the bile just for that bit. In 2009, Murphy deleted the post and wrote the following apology. Hey, y'all. I've been getting more responses on a past journal entry called Maximum Extreme, which I shared a story told to me by a woman who used to babysit Rob Liefeld. Then someone emailed me about it being linked to CBR's rumors section of its website. At first, I thought it was odd to have a tabloid section for a comics news website that featured links that wasn't news at all. It also struck me as cheap and childish. I was annoyed, but then I reread my journal and decided that a lot of what I wrote was cheap and childish, so I deleted it. I don't agree with censorship, nor with letting internet drama interfere with my right to free speech, nor do I think we should stop being critical and calling into question those who are not producing art that we might see as who are producing art that we might see as damaging. What the fuck?
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's SJW right there. When you start talking about people being hurt by words and art.
Yeah.
When did he write this? Did he write this
2009.
That's wrong think right there.
Yeah,
he was riding the wave.
Wow.
Okay, but looking backward to laugh means I'm not watching the road ahead, and I don't want to be one of 1,000 voices that bags on Rob. I wasn't getting a ton of emails or anything. In fact, I don't know if more than a handful of people even saw the link, but I'd rather just avoid the drama completely, buckle myself back to my drafting table, and get back to work. In the end, I guess it's good that CBR has a tabloid section because it brought me to seeing my error. I love writing about art and science in an intelligent way, and having a black mark on an entry like Maximum Extreme only discredits me. Liefeld tweeted, this is 100% manufactured, as in it never happened, ever. Okay.
Then he ran himself over with a car when he was a kid.
Yeah, we're going to find out a little bit more about this. So it says Jared Boback, who we know. Jared Boback is in, he comes to our live streams. He says, I've been curious about this since you posted it. Fortunately, it was discussed a bit. Good stuff. Spectre X wrote, also, he is a moron who once actually ran himself over with his car.
Why would he have a babysitter at the time then if he owned a car?
I'm confused about this whole thing. Like, I'm picturing a little car, like a fake little,
It like ran over his foot or something, because there's that one actor on Star Trek who he died, but he
Anton Yelchin.
He ran himself over with his own car.
he got out of his Jeep to open the gate, and he didn't put it in park, and the car crushed him up against the gate as he was opening it.
Is that how he died?
Yeah.
Did he die immediately, or like?
He was alone, so I don't know, but I mean, it wasn't. It was just probably a slow, painful death, honestly.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just hop up on the hood of the car like that?
He had his back to it, so he probably had his legs and torso pinned by the time he realized.
Holy shit. That's an embarrassing way to die.
When you get squished like that too, it's like popping a grape. The pressure inside your body becomes so great that you have random exit wounds where your guts just explode out of you.
Is that right?
Yeah. How
do you know that?
I don't know if that's true.
No, that's true.
Believe it.
I do know that because my buddy got ran over by a bulldozer, and he was in the hospital for like 6 months, and they gave him a new butt because it blew out his butt and his leg, and I think maybe his back. He had these exit wounds, but he's lucky to be alive. They
gave him a new anus or new butt.
Yeah, he needs a new anus, so he was pooping in a bag for a while, and they give him the lollipops with the heavy drugs on them,
I need a new ass, but my anus is fine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's like appreciate your anus because I don't know. It's fragile. Good stuff.
It's fragile. Yeah, like if you have problems with your anus, like you're gonna have a hard time. you know, in a lot of ways.
No,
And we don't miss it till it's gone, but then we really miss it.
yeah, I mean,
Kevin Smith had a problem with his anus, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, from sitting on the toilet too long, like an anal fissure.
straining it. Oh yeah, that's bad news.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that maybe that's his habit. He would read the morning tabloids on the shitter, but then he was on the shitter for 2 hours every morning because he reads slow.
Why would you do that? Why would you? Okay, all right. You could just retire to a chair or your bed.
That's why it's good to have a roommate, because they'll tell you to get out of there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you're on the toilet, you can just wait for your second round.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just eat your meals on the toilet.
I'm just gonna be back here in 2 hours anyway, so I might as well sit here and read.
Does Kevin Smith have enough money to just shit in the bed and not even have to go and just have the help clean up?
install
we
a
have people-
shitter in his bed.
That's
They're saying new subject. They're saying move on. Okay. They want to know about the car. All right. So
the dream.
this is, I hate when SJWs do this. Also, he's a moron who once actually ran himself over with his car, in italics. Wait. What? Like, that's one thing that they do. Mark Waid will do that. Wait, what? How is this possible? And isn't he a genius for figuring out how to do this? I got this from a blog entry on DeviantArt by Sean Gordon Murphy, who talked about how he once apparently talked to Liefeld's old babysitter, who then proceeded to tell him blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, dude. I don't like that. Rob Liefeld's like, exactly. Oh, this Eric Larson says, what a ridiculous bit of fiction. Every bit of this incident is completely made up. As far as I'm aware, you've never touched drugs of any kind in your life, nor have I. You can tell Eric Larson's never taken drugs.
Now I want to be on the side of the jerkholes because I hate Eric Larson so much.
Yeah. By the way, the idea that Rob Liefeld's never touched drugs, I don't know if he's ever taken them, but I know he's touched them, and I won't.
Yeah, he someone gave him a bag of weed and he handed it off to his coloring department.
That's right. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah, he paid his colorist in drugs for a little while. Extreme Studios was interesting. You know, it's a good story there. A bunch of stories there. Yeah, he got paid in drugs for lending his characters to a skateboarding company. Isn't that right?
I don't know the details.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, you've never touched drugs of any kind in your life, nor have I. Eric Larson not doing drugs is the most boring thing I've ever heard. Like, I can't say that I've done drugs, but I would never, like, I'm open to it. I mean, I hear people talking about taking mushrooms, and I'm like, I kind of want to do that.
We already made plans. Me, you, and Kelsey.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing shrooms.
I've smoked pot 3 times in my life, and it only worked once. The other 2 times I got it wrong because I don't know how to smoke. You know, I don't know how to breathe. I don't know how to inhale.
Wrong.
Yeah, I totally got it wrong. And you know, I couldn't get anything to happen. The other time was some dude at a convention, you know, brought me out to a convention, and he was like part-time, you know, that's what he did. Like, he just had bomb ass weed. I could tell he had bomb ass weed. You know, sometimes if people have marijuana and they get it and it's like, this is going to be old, this is going to be garbage, you know, this is suburban bullshit. But like, this guy, you could tell he had bomb ass weed, and he gave me some, and it was amazing. And I completely understand why people do it. That was the one time it worked for me. And what it felt like was, my legs and my whole lower body were like made of lead, and my head was super light. And I just sat there and kind of just was like, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to start laughing like the Beatles talked about laughing. I was like, nope, I don't think anything's funny except for how good I feel. And then I went and laid down and watched TV and was just like, this is badass.
How old were you?
How old was I? This was like 4 years ago.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, I no, I've never did it. I was Mormon. I didn't do any drugs like growing up. I barely drank, you know. So it was really, really good. And I was like, well, you know, I would like to try this again. And I tried it again one more time, and it didn't work again. So
weird.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it was great. So that's what I'm saying. Like, would I try? Yeah, of course I would. I would try mushrooms. I wouldn't try. Cecil, what about cocaine? What do you know about it?
You know what? if you like it, that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things you're better off not liking, especially somebody who liked it. It's such a good drug for your profession, which is, hammering through hours drawing. Like if it'd probably be good for somebody who like sits at a drafting table for hours on end and wants to get going. But I would say stay away from it because
I would love it. I'm telling you right now.
It's the only drug that really people get like really fucked up from, because other than heroin, but I don't see that in your future.
No, I'm a daddy. I can't ever do it, but I'm telling you, like when I hear about what cocaine is, I'm like, yeah, I would have a serious coke problem if I ever tried it. I'm telling you, I'd love it.
I mean, I've done it plenty of times, but it wasn't my thing. I like to get a little more psychedelic, but I always carried it because hot, crazy chicks love cocaine, so it's always good to have it on you.
Oh yeah. That's what I understand. Okay, so I'm never going to do that, but I will try mushrooms if I get a chance. That's my oath to the world. Other than that, I'm cool. I'm cool with alcohol. All right, so in that regard, so Eric Larson's like, we've never touched drugs. In that regard, most of the image founders are notoriously square. I don't know. I look at some of them, and I don't want to name names. Jim Lee, no.
No, like he's never done drugs?
No, I don't think he has, no. Jim Lee would be clean living, But the other ones, all right.
Jim Valentino.
That's the one I was thinking of. Okay.
Jim Booger Sugar Lee.
And there's one more that I'm thinking of, and I won't say that person's name either.
Mark Candy Nose Sylvester.
Say it while coughing.
John's so funny, man. John's fucking read my mind 100 times tonight. It's great. All right. So Rob Liefeld says, which part, the coke or the hit by your own car? Your own car. Hope you never got hit by your own car. LOL. Rob Liefeld says, all of it's made up. It's ridiculous.
I believe him.
He says, figured the drugs is understandable. Young, in college maybe. We do dumb shit. But the car seems like a skit in a comedy show. Rob's like, stop giving this any validity.
Rob's the best. So that's how I like to shut down arguments too.
Yeah. Just stop. And here's Eric Larson coming to his rescue. Rob isn't a drug user and never went to college that I'm aware of. He was working in comics right out of high school. Well, we told you that story, That's 100% true. Like, Rob was working in comics to feed his family when his dad was sick. What is this?
Glad Eric is in there to fill in all these spots for Rob.
Yeah, I know. It's like, why are you so interested in this, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
You see, like, Eric's like a troublemaker. Eric's a troublemaker that pretends he's not a troublemaker.
It's concern trolling.
That's called, it's concern trolling. It's like, yeah, Rob wouldn't do a lot of drugs and run himself over with his own car. I've never known Rob to do that. I know the history of Rob. Let me tell you the history of Rob. Rob isn't a drug user. And then what is this? What are the hands doing with the beams coming off of them? What does that mean?
Claps?
Oh, they claps? That does not look like a fucking clap. It looks like you're praising
finger snaps.
Those are not finger snaps. God, I hate the internet so much.
Yeah.
I see that and it looks like praise to me. It looks like praise.
Yeah. He's praising her.
This thing like that.
Yeah. But Liefeld doesn't hold it against Murphy, forgiving the white knight writer-artist for spreading this nonsense. I forgive Sean Gordon Murphy for spreading this nonsense on a public forum years back. Raymond Leonard goes, whoever's believing this bullshit should be ashamed of himself. I believe it, and I have no shame. It's my choice to believe this, that Rob Liefeld ran over his own head with a car high on cocaine.
Jeez.
And I'm not no, I'm just saying, like, if I want to believe that, I'll believe it.
I tried a drug dealer's car.
Has Sean Gordon Murphy ever lied to me?
No.
Has Rob Liefeld? Case closed. Okay, thank you.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry, John. I know he's your friend.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. The Liefeld later recalled that he had, in fact, been run over by his own car in a completely different circumstance. Thank you, Sean Gordon Murphy. Totally validated. Redeemed. When he was returning some videos to Blockbuster and a woman tried to steal his car, panicked, and then ran him over.
Oh, well, that's different.
Luckily, Liefeld was saved by a Blockbuster employee as well as divine intervention. Lee Webb says, the story I heard it once, you were dropping off movies at Blockbuster. By the way, that is
my old video store employees would never do that. I mean, yeah. Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
You know, Roxham says Liefeld doesn't lie. He did. He said that was an absurd story. It's not an absurd story. He did get run over by a car, by his own car. That is true.
Yeah, but he didn't run over himself in his own car.
Well, let's find out. All right, let me read this. The story I heard it once, you were dropping off movies at Blockbuster. That's a euphemism for shitting. While out of your car, a guy tried to steal it, but went forward into you and the store. That's like an action movie sequence.
Yeah, he tried to put it in reverse and put it in drive.
Right through a Blockbuster home video, like right through the glass. You know, copies of Uncle Buck are flying everywhere. Oh, yeah. Shit.
Hold on. It was a woman who was stealing it?
No, it's a woman. Wait. No, a guy. So. No, Rob Liefeld says it's a girl. All right.
A girl tried to, and she put it in reverse instead of drive. That story's starting to check out. It makes sense.
Sean Gordon Murphy was right. This is true. Girl tried to steal my car on the way back from the drop slot. Panicked. That I was walking back and lunged it forward over the curb onto the sidewalk and drilled me through the glass of Blockbuster Video. She ran out of the car into the street.
Jeez.
The car was still running, pinning me. I'm half in and half out of the store. People are screaming inside. Rob, it's Rob Liefeld.
The VHS of Uncle Buck is stuck in my mouth.
Yeah. You know, he's got Mr. Mom crammed up his butthole, and he's like freaking out. All right, so Blockbuster employees leapt across the hood of my car, like probably slid across it like Dukes of Hazzard, and jumped in and pulled it off of me. Cops came, gave him the whole story. Didn't have to pay damages as I was the victim.
Why would Sean Gordon Murphy spread this outlandish rumor that Rob hit himself with his own car?
Because it was true.
It's not true. A girl ran him over and pinned him in a Blockbuster window.
Yeah, it's close though, right? Like,
he was lucky he was out there.
One is idiotic. One is an insane woman driving you into a glass window.
People are asking if the woman was Asian.
It was Rose Tico.
It's making a little more sense.
It kind of checked out. All I'm saying.
After she pinned him down, after she pinned him down, then she gave him a kiss and she said, "That's how they win," and then ran off.
And this was January 2000, he says. So this was, you know. By the way, happy 9/11. I don't know if you guys realize that. This is the 18th anniversary of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It all changed.
Yeah,
it kind of did, right?
Now we're dealing with the first generation of adults that were never born during 9/11.
Can you imagine that? I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah, this is definitely one where I remember where I was. I remember my mom waking me up. She's like, "They hit the Twin Towers." I'm like, "What are the Twin Towers?" And then I watched the news. I was like, "Oh, shit."
I'm embarrassed about my whole reaction to 9/11. My entire day was embarrassing. Still think about it.
What were you doing?
Well, I saw, I turned on the TV and there's smoke coming out of one of the towers, plane hit the tower. You see people in there, whatever. I called up Jeff Johns. I was like, hey man, I wish the Justice League was real. Like they would go in there. This is like perfect for like what the Justice League would do. I left a message on his machine because he was in California you know, and I'm in New York. I was in New York on 9/11. So, you know, I didn't realize the severity of it. I just said, well, this is crazy. And then the second plane hit, and I was like, oh shit. So pinned to the TV, watching this all go down, and didn't do anything. Like didn't do anything all day except for watch this and just hope that there were survivors. And then I was like, I'm hungry. So I got in my car and I drove to the general store. I lived in this weird town. I lived next to Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke up in Woodstock, New York.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, dude, it was kind of gross.
Yeah, Phoenicia.
Like, yeah, Ethan Hawke, like he changed his kid's diaper like right in front of me. Outdoors. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I went out and I bought a box of chocolate donuts, and I just shook my head sadly as I paid my $3 for the donuts at the clerk. You know, and I think I said, right? Yeah. All right, have a good one. And I went back to watch the rest of 9/11 happen. It's embarrassing. Those are my memories of that day.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I was working on a bridge, and I remember hearing about it. I think it might have been on the radio or something like that. It might have been like break talk or something like that. And I was like, it's all exaggerated. You know,
Trevor Bruce in the chat.
They got a fire.
That's very moving.
Put it out. And but yeah, I do recall we were working by airport, and then like nothing was in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, huh.
I had to drive down to Philadelphia. You know, that was Tuesday when that happened. I remember because I wanted to make sure that I got paid. Tuesday was payday at DC Comics, you know. So I had to make sure that my check went through. I said, the whole day was embarrassing. I said, hey, how's everybody doing? He said, we're hunkered down in our office. I was like, yeah, it's scary out there. Like, how are you going to get home? I think DC Comics actually, they spent the night in the office. You know, everybody
everything was shut. All the railroads were shut.
Yeah.
Bridges were shut.
Yeah. That Saturday, I had a convention in Philadelphia. So I drove across the bridge and I could see it. I remember just actually seeing it and seeing the brown smoke in the sky.
For weeks and weeks it smoked.
Yeah. Helicopters just. I wish I had like a better like noble story, but what the actual magnificent like craziness, hugeness of that day didn't really strike me. I was like, you know, people were telling me we're under attack, and I was just like, I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. Coming out of the 90s into the 2000s, where, you know, basically we were slackers who didn't give a shit. Like, just didn't care about politics, didn't care about what was going on in the world. What did we care about? We cared about Britney Spears. And
yeah, I remember
to be nude.
I remember before 9/11 that I was like, man, I don't know, man. Like, you almost think world peace might be possible, you know, in the next 5 years. Like, everything seemed to be, you know, for the most part, going pretty well. And then, yeah, I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
Did you think that? Did you think the world was going to change on that day?
I think by the end of that day, I think it did. Yeah, I think, you know, once they said we were under attack, and yeah, I mean, you know, we're gonna have to, you know, mess somebody up.
Then I tried to join the army.
Oh,
you know, which was a reasonable thing to do, John.
Yeah, I was already in. I was still, well, I was in active duty, I think, at that point. Yeah.
They called me a pussy because I had asthma. They said, "You pussy, you have asthma. You can't." They said, "You want to trip?"
You?
Yeah,
like,
they said,
"You can't get here. You're a fucking pussy."
Yeah, and they gave me a shirt that said "Go Army." It said "Go Home." That's embarrassing to wear a "Go Army" shirt as a consolation prize to getting to serve your country, but I did wear it. You know.
There you go.
People will be like, "Are you a poser?" You're like, "No, I tried out. I got this shirt fair and square."
That's stupid. Hunter was like little. I mean, Hunter was 2 years old. What was I thinking? I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna fight and avenge my country. You know, I have a 2-year-old at home. You know, I'm a stupid comic book artist, but I'm gonna go over there and like everybody was talking like that. It wasn't just me. There were a lot of people saying dumb things, saying dumb shit, and wanting to get revenge on Arabs. You know, it's just the Arab people. We need to go. I want to go shoot some Al Qaeda. You know, everybody was talking like that, and I did too. I really wanted to get over there, and I wanted to. I was angry. You know, after about 3 days, I was like furious, and people were saying the internet was interesting. People you weren't expecting it were saying some pretty berserk shit. You know.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
Well, you know, something had to be done.
Yeah.
So
there's a conspiracy theory that it was all a ritual sacrifice for Pete Davidson as like a deal with the devil, and years later he would get hired on SNL and date Ariana Grande. That's kind of the evidence for it, because his dad died in 9/11.
Yeah.
So he did it.
Yeah. Or the seance that he did, the rain dance.
Yeah.
Or his mom.
He did it so he could get with a girl that was probably like 2 when that happened.
It would explain his career, though.
Somebody just said, "Did Mark Waid preach tolerance?" No. You know, the line from the people who would become future SJWs was, "I too feel it in my heart that I want to kill these people. You don't think I feel anger too? But we must learn that there are people in this country that are afraid right now. They're afraid. They're afraid that they've been disenfranchised by this country that they call home." And we're like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You know, it's like that was a lot of just people going, Muslims are scared. What the fuck? We're scared. We're scared. Everybody in this country is scared right now. It took a long time for people to calm down, but I mean, it's, for goodness sakes, I just remember that and just being like, whose side are you on?
Yeah.
You know, even then, like, do you love your country? Are you mad?
Yeah. In the words of younger Rob Liefeld, holding a book up to me with the trade centers on it, he said, "Never forget." I said, Rob.
Never forget. And then everybody started drawing pictures for comic books. Like,
yeah, I remember the Spider-Man one. That was pretty touching, I thought.
Yeah, everybody had to do that had to contribute something to a big book. I just thought, I can't, what am I going to do? I was invited to be a part of the Marvel one. And it's just that, you know, sometimes, like, I don't, it's something so real. I'm like, what am I going to do? Draw a firefighter crying? That's not how I feel about any of this. You know, it's like, that's not how I feel. I feel anger. And I feel rage. And I don't think that's what anybody else is going to be doing.
So what did you draw?
Nothing. I chose not to do it. I thought it was too glib. I thought it was too, no, I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to participate in something that was.
That's a good call.
Going to make myself look or feel better, look like I care. It wasn't like that. You know, it was like, you know, there were a lot of people doing these charity books. I'm not sure what the charities were for. That were just people drawing crying firemen. And at the time I just found it a little gauche. You know, I hate to say that, but you know, it was not enough to explain what I was thinking, how I felt. And, you know, yeah, I was mad about it. That's weird. That was 18 years ago. 18 years ago now. God, I really do remember it very vividly. And the one thing that I remember is I remember watching that night. I remember, you know, it started to rain, and the rain started to come down on the rubble, and they were trying to find survivors. And this crazy thought, because I was still Mormon, and I still really, really, you know, believed in, and you know, there had to be a reason for this, and there had to be a purpose, and God was going to help. God was going to fix this. The rain. He's giving the survivors drinking water. You know, it's like that's one thing that went through my mind, like a lunatic. Like they're in there and they haven't had anything to drink, and now there's going to be drinking water that's going to kind of seep in. You know, yeah, maybe they'll survive. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, or drown them.
Or drown them. Yeah.
No way to win.
User X says, EVS, please do a live stream on how to draw a crying Dr. Doom. It's like that's what people were doing. I mean, it was just, yeah. And Dino
Watered.
Palacio says, EVS, you so dumb. I am dumb. You know, yeah, drinking water. I was hoping that's what was going on. Because they kept saying like the search for survivors continues into the night. And I was like, not even one? Not even one? Not even one. The thing about it is that literally a month before, my wife, Hunter's mother, was offered a job at the Bank of America on, I think, like the 60th floor of the World Trade Center. We went there for a job interview. And I remember I waited down in the lobby. I bought a necktie. There was a necktie shop. I wish I still had the tie. There was a necktie shop in the lobby of the World Trade Center, and I bought a tie. And she was in there getting her job interview. She came down. I got the job. They said I could work here. I could, you know. And it just became impractical. You know, it was like, I don't know. We better not do that. You better work somewhere closer. The transit, you know, or the commute from Woodstock to Manhattan is going to be killer. You can't do that every day. It was a dumb idea.
Woodstock to Manhattan, that's like 2 hours.
Yes, I know. It would have been insane, and we probably would have had to have moved. We were just renting anyway, you know. But, oh my God.
Yeah, my buddy's mom lived in Phoenicia, and we went out there a couple times. That's in the Woodstock area.
That's where we lived. Phoenicia.
I met, like, right down the, I guess, mountain that they lived on, or big hill, whatever it was. Jack Morelli and Christy Shell lived there. And yeah, so I was like a teenager and I got to go meet them. I think Christy Shield was working on Elektra with Mike Diodato at the time. Yeah. So
everyone lived up there. Terry Austin lived up there. Jim Starlin lived up there. Todd DeZago lived up there.
Wow.
There was a whole comic book community up there, people who used to live in New York City. And we became friends with Terry Austin, who lived alone in a beautiful home where, you know, he had he collected Popeye. He still does. He's still alive. He collected Popeye stuff. So he had tons of Popeye memorabilia, was not married. And then he kept all of his original artwork. So Terry Austin had all of the artwork from his X-Men run with Byrne. He still had it. And, you know, when he needed money, he would sell one of the covers. I remember he sold like one of those X-Men covers, and it was like he got $40,000 for it.
Wow.
Which seemed like an incredible amount of money to me at age 24. You know, like, what the fuck? $40,000, that's enough to live for a year on a single cover. And I'd go to his house, he'd have like just all of his artwork in bins. Like you could just go, yeah, here's me working with Art Adams on the, what the fuck? Like just all of it, you know. He got 1/3 of every single page, every single book he ever worked on.
Nice.
Yeah. And then like he got a kitten one time. And he called us in the middle of the night. And he needed us to come over. You know, he's worried about taking care of this kitten. He super glued its eye closed.
What?
And we had to come over and help him get the cat to the vet. Like he was panicking. I don't know how he did it. It's an accident, you know.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Liefeldian tale.
Sounds like
I promise it's true. I still think about it. Like I don't know what happened.
Sounds like a Nasser dent.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, you know. But
did he ever get married?
No, I don't think so. And I think, you know, he was just kind of one of these guys. You know, you look at most comic book artists, it's like they're bachelors for life.
Who gives a shit? Said an unmarried Popeye collector. Now I've heard it all. I was going for how skinny is the girl he married.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that'd be funny. Like if he married an olive oil type. Yeah, I just it was they all lived up there. They all played volleyball. They let me play volleyball a couple times. They're very serious about it. Jim Starlin, especially, very serious man. You know, not a great sense of humor on Jim Starlin. But it was good times. I mean, everybody lived up there. There are a lot of celebrities that live in that area that just want to be left alone.
Yeah,
like Bowie has a big hot place out there, or he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember also like everybody up there was extremely thin skinned. Like there was a thin, skinny little veil of like politeness, but just waiting, like,
hippies.
Hippies, a little bit of irritation, and they blow their stack. So I went to a gas station, and the guy's like, okay, that'll be $5. And I give him a 20, and he gives me back a 5, and he starts walking away. So I go, sir, I gave you a 20. And he, like, before he'd been like, oh, hello, welcome, blah, blah. He turned to me and went, I'm getting a fucking 10 out of the office, okay? And I was like, holy shit. Like,
up in Woodstock, I'm surprised. In the Bronx, I'm pretty, you get that pretty much.
That's his go-to move. He walks back to see if you're going to say anything about it. And if you don't say anything about it, then he puts it in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hippies.
Hippies are what is up with them? I went to the same thing, like, when I snuck into Obama's speech in 2009, Boston. I pretended to be a Democrat, and
were moved. You wiped tears from your eyes.
No, I started hanging out with socialist lesbians. And took some pictures of the 2 lesbians kissing me.
Nice.
I wish I still had that picture. I probably do somewhere. And I was hanging out, like, I went to go see Obama, and I pretended to be an Obama fan. I hated Obama, but I'm there in the audience. I saw John Kerry give a speech. I saw all these awful, odious, heinous Democrats, like, one after the other, like people I knew, from listening to Rush Limbaugh. Giving these awful speeches that just seemed hateful to me. And then Obama came out, and the whole time, like, everyone around me, my comic book Bastardized is kind of based on that. I did some art for this book, and it's just like the faces that I saw around me. These people were, like, seething with hatred. I can't even describe them. Like, you guys won. Like, you won. This is your president. Why are you so mad? They were all, like, furious and just filled with just, like, yeah, like, hold on, let me show you. I mean, and they're older people too, like old dirty hippies, wearing like parkas.
I remember when Obama won, there were a slew of op-eds that were like, maybe America is entering a post-racial phase, and then that is absolutely not what happened. The complete opposite happened. But it's because of those hippies you're talking about, the rage-filled hippies.
What do you think of that, Cecil? Is that true?
Not a big fan of old hippies.
So this is like what I saw, like this face here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like spittle, like white, dry spittle in the corner of their mouths. And I'm like, God damn, like, get me away from these people. Like, just, I don't know, wearing a lot of Columbia sports gear and pissed off.
Somebody, like the last person I got into an argument with who was just like out of their mind. This was on Long Island though, but it was a Subaru Forester with a Bernie Sanders bumper sticker. And it was this like white-haired old woman, and just as nasty as can be. I was just like, what the fuck is your problem? Just so mad at the world. I'm like, you're a fucking hippie. You're an old hippie. Or you're the angriest person I've ever seen.
Why so mad? Why
Doesn't
so mad?
make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Because the world is dying, Ethan.
Well, I know that.
They gotta bring back dueling. Would you guys be into that? Like, you could possibly die, but you could duel people then.
Oh yeah, I support dueling.
Yeah.
It's like she found out that Pennywise. She found out Pennywise wasn't gay friendly. He's not even an ally.
Yeah.
In fact,
Malin, I might have heard that from you, Malin. Sorry.
He's surprisingly anti-queer.
We could play this Joker footage.
No, don't.
Why?
You will get zapped.
You know that for a fact?
I know it for a fact.
I am not going to give you advice because I am urged to say do it, but I know that I'm misleading you. So
they're going on a rampage.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
Warner Brothers is going crazy, and they'll zap you. In fact, the person who sent me the footage today was like, whatever you do, do not review this on your channel. Your channel will be gone. Did you watch it?
Yeah, well, most of it, yeah.
It's the like the talk show part, right?
The talk show part, yeah. That we saw that. We saw 3 more scenes too. Like this had 3 additional scenes that John and I watched that weren't any big deal. I mean,
Did you watch them on air?
No, we watched them off air before we came on. All right, I'm not going to, because here's the other reason. We've got 845 people in here, and some people might not want spoilers.
Right.
That's a pretty spoilery scene in there.
What are you thinking, Cecil? Oscar?
As soon as they announced everything, I thought it was going to be a great movie. But Oscar, I like Todd Phillips.
I just want to fail so bad. I think just because I know you guys want to love it so much. I want to swim in the disappointment.
It's going to be really good, John. You should get on board with it.
I'll hold off.
All right, hold on. Let me return to Graveyard Shift Volume 2. By the way, jumped a little bit forward here to $136,000.
Awesome.
$98. We're moving towards 150. I mean, I think that's what we want to see. 150, 151.
Yep.
Beat Mike S. Miller. We've got 4 days left to go worth of funding to get this to 151 and then past that. We want to get it to 170, honestly. And I don't see the reason why we couldn't.
Yeah.
Graveyard Shift is basically the story of John had this idea. He's like, let me take like the classic Universal monsters, the ones that people love. Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, the Wolfman, even the creature from the Black Lagoon, right?
Yeah, because these are all stand-ins as if the Universal monsters were the X-Men. So it's like the purple guy, he is our creature from the Black Lagoon, our Abe Sapien, our Aquaman. He is that character for the team. But I want to stress the idea is Mark Poulton and myself. So I don't want Mark being like, oh, John took all the credit. So Mark Poulton and myself. But yeah, they're all stand-in. So Lilith, the bride, the girl that we're looking at here, she's standing for the Bride of Frankenstein. That's her husband, the skull guy behind her. He is the stand-in for Frankenstein's monster. And he looks like Hamburger, and she believed he was dead and gone. So during the time he was dead and gone, she struck up a relationship with the guy above her, which is Vladimir Blood, and he is a stand-in for Dracula.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love this concept. I love the artwork too. It's just crazy. It looks, I think it looks better than Jawbreakers. And I think it's a big step forward, obviously, from the first Graveyard Shift book. So, yeah, I mean, it's just dynamite. And so we're working towards, the Wolfman. We're Dracula, too. I mean, this looks so cool, man. It looks like the way the X-Men used to be.
Yeah. And, I mean, the whole thing is all homages. So, I mean, Dracula here is clearly my homage to Barry Windsor Smith Wolverine, because I wanted to be able to draw Barry Windsor Smith Wolverine.
So, I see. Yeah.
But yeah, the entire thing is all homages. And Anna wants a Portuguese flag on that blank flag. So by the time we go to press, that'll probably be a Portuguese.
She wants hair on that Dracula. What kind of
but then it'd be green.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, though. I mean, when he's hairless,
there are no hairless Romanian guys.
Yeah, she wants a happy trail. She wants the whole works.
Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of agree, because it looks like spandex otherwise.
No, it's just a clean shaven body, clean waxed body. Ethan,
I wish I had one of those.
He's a high maintenance vampire.
Got 3 brides to groom him all day long.
All right, Sketch Therapy is like, when are you going to do super chats? Let me get back to super chats real quick, and then we'll get back to this. Thank you guys for doing this. Liam Gray says, name the 9 biggest weirdo SJW comic pros, please. Well, I mean, you know them: Kurt Busiek, Mark Waid, Gail Simone, John Layman, Donnie Cates. That's 5. No, that's 6.
Slott.
Dan Slott is 1, but Dan Slott's not an SJW, really. He's more like just a far leftist. I don't think Dan Slott wants to destroy anybody. Heather Antos, Mags Visaggio. We need 2 more. We could just keep going with that.
Alana Smith,
and Kwanzaa. I would also. Tom Brevoort was going to be my other one. So.
SJW Prime, him and Sana Amanat.
Oh shit! Yeah, Sana Amanat is like the queen bee of horrible SJWs, and probably the cause for SJW succeeding.
Sienkiewicz has also.
Ugh.
Tamara Bonvillain, and there's a lot of.
Yeah,
there's so. It's too many.
At least Sienkiewicz draw better than Panosian.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't honestly. You know, I don't know. Sienkiewicz is not an SJW. He's not. I know he seems like he is because he's a kind of an anti-Comicsgate pill. But I don't think Kevin. I don't think he wants to impose speech codes. I don't think he believes in cancel culture. You know what I mean? Like those things really make SJWs. People who want to destroy other people who disagree with them. And Bill just wants to call people names. I don't think he really wants to destroy anyone. I'd stick up for him that far. Dave Johnson, SJW.
Patrick Zurcher.
Patrick Zurcher's one, yeah. It's poisonous. I mean, it just infects people. People who are right on the brink. You know, people who feel powerless are empowered through, you know, cancel culture and social justice. Just dicks. You know, people with personality disorders. And there are lots of those in comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Spirits Car says, Robert Crumb said he created his most popular characters from his first LSD trip. How about a mushroom drawing stream? See what you come up with. Yeah. Snarkticon DM says EVS wearing I tried to join the army, but all I got was this lousy t-shirt. Charlie's, that's how it was. Charlie's London says, isn't that why Adam Driver signed up? Is it? Good.
A lot of people.
Yeah, like a lot of people did. Jalapeno Milk says, you would have been the 6HB led application specialist. That's what I ended up being. Snarkticon DM says, unleash Trebuchet Guevara. And Boy Dunyan says, this might be the last late live stream I'll be able to interact with you guys. I'm going back to work in 4 hours after a 2-month break post-surgery. Well, we'll miss you, Boy Dunyan. At least, you know, watch the stuff in, you know, playback mode.
Yeah, these live streams go on all hours of the day. So I'm sure at some point or another, Ethan will be streaming at like 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
when
maybe. I don't know.
When you steal an hour every day, then you're on a 25-hour cycle, so it'll slowly rotate around when you're doing things.
Yeah.
I got a lot of good reviews on last night's stream. We kind of hit everything in the world.
Dude, yeah, that stream, well, obviously that blew up Mike S. Miller. That's the big thing that's going on right now, you know.
And Idi Amin.
What?
And Idi Amin.
Yeah, and Idi Amin and who else? Yeah, it was a great stream. It was fun.
Yeah, that went on for.
What happened with Mike? What's he doing now?
All right, so look, people are wondering why Mike hasn't been on the show lately, and why Mike hasn't been a part of, you know, what's going on here, or me not being a part of whatever he's doing. And I just kind of let people know. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be like coy about this, especially when other people are not coy. Like other people are just happy to just say whatever they want to say. And then I guess I'm kind of expected just to not, but I don't want to. I don't want to lie to people. I just tell people how it is. Tell people who ask how it is. So, you know, I told people about, you know, the Mike and the 3-part EVS versus Doug video. I told people that Mike said on a live stream that he didn't value my input, which I thought was insulting since my input was literally money and art. And I told people that, you know, Mike, the one thing that really bothered me, the last thing that was kind of like the last straw, was I saw footage of Mike even after he did that and knew I was upset with him. He wanted to use his wrench to come into my chat and start, like, I'm hosting a live stream, and he wanted to kind of steal people away from my live stream to his auction. So he tried to come in with his wrench, and when you have a wrench, you're allowed to post links. So he wanted to post links and drag away my audience to what he was doing. And there's footage of him laughing about it. Ethan's not going to like this. You know,
Yeah.
like we're seriously having a little bit of a beef here. You know, like there's a real problem. And this is not like this is funny to you. Like it's not funny to me. And he found out that he couldn't do it because I'd already taken his wrench from him. So he was kind of like stunned by that, you know. Already, like, I'm sorry, like, how much more am I going to let you take from me? You know, how much more am I going to give you? So, you know, that was that. So we talked about that a little bit.
That's a good game of chess right there. Battle of wits.
So did that set Mike off on another deal?
Yeah, Mike saw that, and then Mike showed up on Twitter today to tell everyone that if they found him and were fans of him because of me,
the unsub, yeah,
that they were fake fans. And
that's a Doug move.
Doug did the exact same thing.
Oh man!
Then he was flirting with
Mike. Stop listening or stop worshiping Doug. Whatever you're doing, get away from the Legion of Doom tactics, man.
Yeah, and then he jumped in with the quote unquote CG1, the OG, you know, Captain Cummings, etc. type people.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
He said he's with them. I'm like, wait, you said
they used to hate him.
So let's define what with is. What is Mike?
I get that there's that different groups and that OG CG. They're just all the people that got kind of butthurt when Ethan got so popular. They just got jealous, like a bunch of gamma males or whatever.
I don't know what any separation is. According to Mike, there's one person who considers a Comicsgate 1, which is what Mike calls the OG, and then there's Comicsgate 2, which is everybody else. And it's like, who lets you draw a line on who's what, dude? Fucking
well, here's the thing about that. Like, historically speaking, you know what actually happened with Comicsgate was, yeah, you know, there were people like Doug Ernst and Anglantine and your boy Zach and Captain Cummings and others who were actively fighting the culture war on YouTube and talking about what was going on at Marvel in terms of the SJW, you know, bullshit that was coming out. And you know, look, they did everything. They let people know. There were a few of them that were better than other people. I mean, Zach was really, really good. Captain Cummings was good for a little while, but he just got out of his depth. I mean, he wasn't as he didn't have as much to say. He wasn't as insightful as Zach was. And in fact, the only other person who was Doug Ernst. Doug Ernst is a little bit more eclectic and sort of esoteric than Zach is. So he compares things to 80s movies and stuff like that. But, you know, Zach really compares things to life and lets you understand, you know, exactly what all of this means. And so that's why his channel blew up and became so popular. And that's why his words could get through to somebody like me, you know, who was actively engaging in the kind of political speech that disenfranchised my fans from me while working at DC. Zach got through to me in a way that Captain Cummings never would, or any of these other guys ever would, because he's smart. He's just a smart guy. So in any case, over time, you know, after I joined Comicsgate, and by the way, that wasn't easy. That wasn't something I wanted to do. You know, I got dragged into Comicsgate kicking and screaming. I asked John, I said, John, you don't want to be a part of Comicsgate. John joined Comicsgate in January. I was in it in February, you know, and, you know, at that point, you know, it kind of became clear, and it should be clear now, okay, that the idea of using YouTube videos to criticize big companies like Marvel and DC isn't going to work. It's not going to work. And the reason why we know that is not only are the companies dying and going out of business, okay, so there's no money to be had anymore. It's absurd to think that we can turn the ship around. But beyond that, they have actually gone forward. The MCU Phase 4 is entirely built of these SJW characters. It's solidified. It's in stone. They're actually taking this to the next level. And feel free to talk about it. Like, talk about these characters suck and they're SJW, but you're not going to change anything.
I'm shocked. They had 50 years of stories with the classic characters, and they just could not wait to get to these new characters from the last 5 years.
Unbelievable. Well, that's because you have somebody like Sana Amanat, who doesn't give a shit what Anglantine says on YouTube. She has an agenda. And part of that agenda, by the way, is get this character that I created on the screens and pay me millions of dollars in royalties. So it's totally corrupt. And it doesn't matter. So the only answer really is to do what Zach and I decided to do, in February, March. We're sitting there going, we're going to have to crowdfund our own comics. Can we do this? Can we do this? And I said, yeah. Who wants to go first? He said, I'll go first. And I said, I'll go second. He's like, can I hire John Malin? I was like, that's crazy. Can you hire John Malin? Hired John Malin to do Jawbreakers.
Can I?
Yeah, like I remember all these discussions. Like, he wasn't sure he could afford you. Like, you're this Marvel artist, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. Try it. That's basically what happened. And it just became clear over time that like the next phase of Comicsgate was simply to replace the comic book industry. That's the only answer to this. And Gamergate couldn't get these feminists to go away. It's like none of these other movements could do what we can do. We're able to actually offer a substantial alternative to the mainstream of the comic book industry. And it isn't easy. It's a lot of work. I'm finally getting my book out this week. It took a year. But we can do it. We can build on this and we can grow it, and then we can invite more people to come in. Now, there are still people who didn't take that next step. Doug Ernst took that next step. He's a writer. He's got a comic book coming out. Your boy Zach he's on his like third or fourth comic book now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Some people don't want to do that. Don't feel like they can. Don't want to be a part of a commercial enterprise that actually replaces or competes with the mainstream comic book industry. They really feel like what they want to do is just they want to stay in 2017. And the problem with that is, A, the world has moved on, and B, 2017 sucked for most of us. People who are actually on the ground fighting Comicsgate in a real way, people who are actually being attacked, threatened physically, like I was at Gotham City Pizza, people who were being threatened to go to New York City Comic-Con and get attacked and made into a quadriplegic by lunatic transsexuals. It wasn't fun. None of that was fun. The fact that we've stepped up and we built this competitive comic book industry has quieted these bitches down. You don't hear from them as much anymore.
And the other thing is with the case of your boy Zach, you mentioned he's very intelligent, and this is true, but also he's honed his arguments over the last decade on message boards. So he was like ready to go. There's like almost like an element of fate to it. And I feel that way about you too, Ethan. Like you were singing a song the other day, and it was I have a bomb shelter song. And I Googled it because I was like, wait, is this a cover or did he write this? And sure enough, you wrote it. And the video that came up was that you had performed a concert at a Comic-Con in 2012, and you were acting like a radio host in 2012, so it's like there's these people that will rise to the top kind of based
you
on.
Wrote Bomb Shelter? I thought that was the Dead Kennedys.
No, that's me. It's one of my songs. I wrote the whole thing. Most of the songs I perform, obviously, except for Jump and things like that, are songs that I wrote. I went through a weird phase where I was writing songs every day.
Wait, you didn't write Jump?
I wish I did. But so here's the thing. So after we started succeeding, Zach had $400,000. I made a bunch of money on Cyberpunk Blood Honey. Other people started to kind of step forward, and one of them was Mike S. Miller. And Mike Miller came forward and said, I want to be a part of this. And Doug TenNapel said, I want to be a part of this. Now, I said, yeah, of course, Mike, you're old school. You've been Comicsgate forever. Like before there was a Comicsgate, you were being persecuted for being a Christian in comics and saying weird stuff about, dinosaurs being 800 years old and all this stuff. Like, of course you are, you should be a part of this. Now, these same people who didn't kind of come along with us, this was the very start of the problem of the divide in Comicsgate. Mike S. Miller was the beginning of the divide because people said, this guy with his big ego, referring to me, is going to bring in all these industry pros and they're going to take away Comicsgate from us. They're going to make it all about the professionals, and our little YouTube voices are going to get drowned out, and these guys and their big egos are going to take over, and that's going to be that. And that
was a fear.
I
was on the ground for that. I witnessed it.
Me too.
So, yeah. So that was the issue, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it until somebody said, hey, what do you think of these Trump comics? And I said, I don't think they're Comicsgate. And that's like, okay, this guy with his big ego has way too much power now, and he gets to determine who's Comicsgate and who isn't Comicsgate, and we have to destroy this guy. So this is the start of everything. This is the start of all the like factions, you know, all of the problems in Comicsgate, and these factions still exist. And I think it's a bad message. I think the idea that, you know, anybody like Mike could be convinced that there's a Comicsgate 1, an OG Comicsgate that has any relevance in 2019 at all, that somebody like him could be convinced of that is sad. I think that's the right word.
He's trying to align with them somehow. I think it's all part of a scheme, because he's been talking about them like it's only since he decried or claimed that he left, and then he started talking about this OG stuff, and oh, these guys are OG, and like all right, okay, and yeah, now he's whatever going on England. I mean, I think he's just trying to get as many allies to promote his projects as possible right now.
Oh yeah, that's what he's got to do. I guess that's what he's got to do.
And the divide does seem to be how you feel about Ethan. Like that, they're all none of them like Ethan. Those early guys, whatever, except for Doug Ernst is a good guy.
Yeah.
Doug. I like Doug. Yeah, I always want to support him.
I felt like Tim Lim had a legitimate beef, like in the beginning, and I said this to him when you were like, "Hey, that's not Comicsgate." He's like, "Hey, man." But then you kind of were like, I felt like you, to make up for that, you really promoted his shit. Like, you're like, yeah, maybe I did like step on some toes when I said that.
I didn't even realize it was Tim Lim's book. You know what I mean? Somebody said, what do you think of these Trump comics?
I thought he had a legit reason to be like, hey, what the fuck, man? Like that I got. And
you're hurting my business.
Right. And then I also thought you recognized that and kind of doubled up your effort to pump up his stuff. But he never forgot. Like and I didn't realize how much he never forgot and he never forgave.
Somebody told me, he's like, look, man, this guy, Tim Lim, like he has a whole spiel against you that's meant to make people hate you. Like if you talk to Tim about Ethan, like he'll talk about you like you're a monster, and he's got a line that makes like, that'll turn people against you. I was like, Jesus Christ. And so, basically that's what it was. It was like, I felt like I did hurt his business and I wanted to make up for it. And I did. I had him on. I promoted him nonstop. We made him $77,000 on Trump Space Patrol, I think. Maybe 72. I can't remember the exact number. Fucking lot of money, though.
But he never forgot. Like he was always like just trying to like turn. That they even told me the reason they couldn't tell me why they ended the project is because I was too close to you. I'm like, I still never got an explanation. So it was just like, they just kind of like hated me for not hating you.
Thank you for not hating me, Cecil. I appreciate it. It's not, I guess it's not about money. So to some degree, it's about power. Yeah, Tim Lim went into this whole thing called the glove. It'd be one thing if Tim was just telling people that he hated me and that I was dangerous and too powerful and I thought I was everything in the world. All this bullshit. But like he also did this weird gay ops thing that I don't fully understand. I wish somebody would explain it to me. He said, I'm the glove. He had a secret identity called the glove. And if you had information, dirt about me, you would be the fist. And you would give the glove the info about me, the dirt that they needed to take me down.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's pretty fucking crazy for an adult on the internet.
Yeah, I met Tim. I definitely liked him when I met him, but that's just some kind of oddball behavior. I don't know, like what you could have done that would have been that personal. Yeah, it just seems out there.
I know too, Ethan. You mentioned quite often that you'll kind of forgive, but people kind of won't do that on their end. Like I don't know, maybe it's past that point now, but for a while it was like you could kiss and make up with Tim Lim, but he had beef.
Yeah, you know what? The thing about it is one thing that I feel about Comicsgate pros in a lot of ways is sometimes like in some cases Like the reason why they don't work well in the mainstream is because they can't work in the mainstream. It's like they just have personality defects that make them really difficult to work with. And I always say, I got to remember this about Comicsgaters. Like every one of us has a broken heart in some way, you know, so you're dealing with a lot of people who have broken hearts. But on top of that, you're dealing with a lot of people who have personality defects that, you know, make it very difficult to interact with them or to work with them. And that's something that I found. You see a couple of these people pop up that are just like, wow, I can't even talk to you. Like you are, you know, you don't make sense. You're not listening. And then when you break down their arguments, it really is just about something other than what they claim it is. Yeah, I don't know. I like, you have to recognize that like these are people who work their whole lives to work in a comic book in comics and aren't able to now for various reasons. And so you know that there's something wrong, that something's broken somewhere. And it's just a question of, can you work around that? Like, can we work together even through that and maybe fix that and make ourselves stronger or not? And sometimes it's just not, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are broke. Just in general, you know, I think even just maybe it's a 2019 thing or something, but it's just harder it seems for people to get along across the board, man.
Broken Hammer of Crom says this is gay. I don't care if it's gay. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, like people willing to burn bridges a little too easily, the trigger finger to burn bridges or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to forgive people and just move on. Here's the fact of the matter is, like, you know, man, we do work better together. Like everybody works better together. And you know, this is, if we actually formed like a guild and everybody, the other thing is, have the rules of Comicsgate, have the ethics, have the standards of Comicsgate not been established thoroughly? Do people not know what Comicsgate means? Because I hear a lot of this shit all the time. Nobody understands what Comicsgate really means.
That's just
that is that bullshit or not? Like that's like we talk about what Comicsgate is, and they go, well, why do you get to decide that? And I'm like, I don't. I'm just one guy, like, you know, and I tell you what Comicsgate means to me, and I base it on talking to Zach every day. And so this is what I think Comicsgate is. And if I get the most people watching me all the time and subscribing to me and listening to what I have to say, that says something. That says that these ideas are the most agreeable to people and are going to work. You know, these ideas are going to work, and, you know, supplanting the comic book industry. Well, why do you get to decide that? I don't. It's a customer-based movement. These people in the audience do. They're the ones who decide.
There's, depending on the scale, there's like a logical fallacy, because like on a small scale, someone would attack you, and then if you talk shit back to them, they'd say, hey, Comicsgate is about the customer. Why are you talking shit to me? And it's like a little more understanding that the creator might talk shit back to someone who's talking shit at them. But if you're doing it on a broad scale, this is kind of like what Marvel was doing. They were making bigoted statements against all Trump voters, against all males, etc. You know, and that's kind of definitely Comicsgate wants to avoid that.
Yeah, Chris Potts says, EVS, you are a personality defect. Are you blind, sir? I am a personality defect. Maybe, I don't know. Probably. It's hard to judge yourself that way, you know.
You care too much?
I care. Yeah, my defect is I care too much. No, it's hard to tell. Some people might find my personality obnoxious and hate me for it. But I mean, here's the truth about what I'm doing. The truth about what I'm doing is I might be a dick. I don't know. Depends on how you find me. But I really do mean well. My intentions are to help other people do well and succeed. That's it. That's all I want to do. It makes me feel cool. I love it. I love it. I love that I ran Kyle Ritter's video, and he made like $5,000 in a day. I love that. You know,
that video is awesome.
It is.
Yeah,
awesome.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, I hate to say like trickle down, but I mean, you know, everybody's doing so much better this year than what was going on last year, and you know, the smaller campaigns are doing really well. I mean, we're getting, you know, Shinobi Sasquatch, Monster MD. Those are all like $50,000-$60,000 campaigns now. That wouldn't have been possible without this happening as it happened.
Yeah, and you know the model, like Ethan mentioned this, but like picture like PewDiePie or something. He doesn't make that much from ads because his stuff will get demonetized. Then so he makes it from sponsors and he makes it a lot from merch. And so Ethan's like a YouTube channel where his merch is his comic, and that's kind of the Comicsgate model. You know, it's like that, and that will grow the comic audience more than any kind of like begging people to get into comics kind of thing. Like, have you ever read a comic kind of thing? It's just like, this is your merch for your channel. That's how we'll get a bunch of like unlimited sales kind of.
Dude, it seems so obvious to me. The idea of using YouTube to like market your comics, like that's something that, you know, the big companies have not grasped onto yet. They haven't done it. And most of their personalities are so noxious anyway. Like you look at those stupid Marvel Comics lifestyle videos, they're disgusting. Like they're just fucking disgusting. And I don't even think that any of these companies can do. You know, I was talking to Nick Barucci over at Dynamite, and he's like, I would love to do what you do. I would love to be able to market through YouTube because that is the future. But because, and like, here's the thing, he can't. And he has too many connections to people who like, you know, if he says the wrong thing, you know, it's like could be catastrophic.
So why doesn't he hire a ringer to do the talk and get like a Nick Lowe or someone like that?
Because look at Nick Lowe. You know, it's like, look, who are you going to find? You know, who are you going to find? And he's actually thinking about, he's looking around. It's like, man, this is Anna. You know, there are all these people. But ultimately, like, nobody's going to care about your product as much as you. And see, that's what makes Comicsgate so special. Like, first of all, we don't care. Like, we don't care if we offend people. We don't care what the mainstream thinks. They have nothing that we want. Okay. I mean, if they, you know, eventually these people are going to have to come to us. So we don't care what they say. We can say whatever we want to say. And frankly, nobody cares about this stuff that we're putting out more than we do. So, you know, it's not like I'm hiring some spokesmodel to talk up Cyberfrog. I'll do it. I'm sexy enough. You know, John Malin talks up Graveyard Shift. Everybody talks up their own book. Narwhal's going to talk up Earthbound. And
hey, speaking of that, I'm at 477 subscribers on my channel. So it's Narwhal Books. So I wonder, everyone subscribe to me too. Push that real quick.
To Narwhal. Absolutely.
I do videos bi-weekly. I do ranting on storytelling, and I just did a Star Wars 9 plot prediction video with illustrations.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Poor timing.
So you know, this is it. You know, we can succeed where they can't, unless they were to really become genuine people. You know, unless Joe Quesada suddenly really became himself and stopped worrying about what Disney thought about him or said and actually spoke his mind. See, that's why Rob Liefeld can succeed at this, because Rob obviously doesn't give a shit. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, independents are going to rule this realm here. And as soon as everybody goes independent and stops worrying what the man, you know, has to say or offer, you know, they're going to succeed, I think. But that's a leap of faith a lot of people aren't prepared to take. Faith in themselves.
Yep, faith in themselves to get out there and do it on your own. And Todd McFarlane said it, you know, in that interview that he did from Fan Expo Canada. He said, "Look, the future is in independence. Now is the time to go independent. Now more than ever. There's nothing that Marvel and DC have to offer you, not even royalties. So there's no reason to go there. It's now the time to do it on your own." God, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's the best. I dug up some of that old, what is it, Peter David debate, and where Todd is like talking, he has no shirt on at a podium, and he's talking about whether or not he's doing it for attention. He's like, conventions are boring.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, you know, he's like, I'm standing here, I'm talking, we got cameras here, and you know, if this is what it takes, you know, then this is what we got to do to get the word out about comic books and get people excited about them. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. I was very happy to hear that. I was like, great. He was so Comicsgate. I mean, the attitude, you know, the disrespect for the corporations. I mean, I love Todd, man. I say it all the time. Todd was my number one, and Rob and Jim Lee are my number two, tied at number two.
Yeah.
But Todd, I always loved his attitude, and, you know, just a hero.
Gabriella Figueroa goes, there'll be late adapters like people expecting a gold rush in Bitcoin. That's right. Keep telling them, like, jump in now. Now is the time. It might even be too late now. You know, it's like it's like me, you guys, Brian Polito. It's like we kind of rule the roost, when it comes to comics, Indiegogo right now. I don't, people are talking about, well, the Sean Gordon Murphy crowd funds, and this is where it's going to be interesting. I heard a rumor that, what's his name from Batman, the writer of Batman, Tom King, no, the other guy before him,
Frank Miller.
No, it's Frank Miller, the one right before him. Oh, God damn it, Scott Snyder. He was going to crowdfund a book, and I really wanted to see that. I wanted to see what he was going to do, because he's a pro, like, who has a Batman book on the stands every month. Now, you would think that would translate to high sales in Indiegogo, but does it really? When your work is so common, it's so out there, like, people want to see you write Batman? Do people want to see you write something else, and are they willing to pay a lot to get it? I don't know. What about Sean Gordon Murphy? It's the same kind of situation, except his work's a little bit more rare. What is your prediction, Narwhal, on Sean Gordon Murphy's Indiegogo campaign?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be nice if he's just a little bit disappointed, because he shouldn't come in and be all stoked. So I don't know, 100K, 80K, somewhere 80K. In there. Yeah. Spirits Card said EVS said creators want to come in and he discouraged them. What the fuck? No, I didn't. I didn't discourage them at all. Everybody has to come in. Eventually, everybody has to come in. I'm just saying that, the sooner the better.
Fans reward people who took a chance.
That's
to leave your existing company and coming here that's taking a chance. Doing it because you have to, because there is no more existing company, is not going to be rewarded. There was no risk. You didn't take a risk. You didn't make a stand. You just were forced into this situation. So you're not going to get that groundswell.
Yeah, they say when you're starting stuff, it's like being first isn't always the best, but you got to be the first to do it well. And then after that, it's kind of downhill. So that, like, hump of the real being in early, that was kind of all last year, like Ethan and your boy Zach, etc.
What do you think, John? What's your expectation of Sean Gordon Murphy's Indiegogo campaign?
Not I don't know, probably better than what Narwhal is predicting. It depends on what all he's going to offer in terms of back catalog stuff, what all the tiers are going to be, what the pricing is going to be. I think it's going to be somewhere between, if it's at Comicsgate pricing, I think it's going to be somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000, maybe 6,000 backers at best. Like, really, really hopeful.
He's coming in super hot, though. I mean, he's probably the most, who's more famous, not famous, but who's more popular than him right now in comics.
Yeah, there's an expression. I think it's my good friend Rob Liefeld that coined this too. It's not you, it's Batman. So we need to see what kind of character he's going to be releasing, the subject matter. I mean, all that stuff factors in. I mean, there's still, it's not, the marketing's one thing. He's got no YouTube engine behind him. He'll have mainstream press. That's the best thing he's got working for him. Maybe they'll push him extra hard to try and, make a point about Comicsgate. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be $1 million campaign. I think that he'll probably make, well, it's hard to say what he's going to make. It's easier to say backer wise. If it's at Comicsgate pricing, it's going to be somewhere between 2,000 and at very, very best 6,000 backers.
6,000 backers.
At very best. At very best. I mean, I really, I hate to say that I'm going to go really low on the guy, but it's hard to tell.
That's not really low.
That would crack 500,000, I think.
I'm not overly familiar with the guy beyond this Batman stuff. So, which looks great. Yeah, it looks great.
Chris Potts is sending another super chat. He's mad at us, but thanks for $2. He says, "Are all of you sick? Do not a one of," and I think he meant to say, "You understand art."
I think he'll make it into the 300 to 500,000 range if he plays it right. If he plays it right.
Yeah, I don't think he has
to be a perfect transition
like Leo has. So yeah, I think he get like around 200-300 for sure.
I lowballed him. He better not somehow see this footage and get mad at me.
You lowballed him.
But it depends, because we don't know what all he's going to offer. We don't know what his tiers are going to be like. I mean, once it opens, it'll be a little bit easier to kind of zero it in, I think.
He seems to also have a personality, so that will help if he does take to YouTube and follow.
Yeah, Comicsgaters like him. That's a good thing.
Like
I like him up until
go watch the Drink and Draw Social Club.
I liked him right up until I found out that he was ragging on Rob about running himself over with the car. What
Turns out he was right.
What kind of person spreads such a malicious rumor like that? Damn you, Sean Gordon Murphy.
He does a podcast with Blake Northcott that I've never listened to, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Is it his own thing? I actually did tune in once because I saw he linked to it, and what was it called?
I forget, but a lot of that is if you're just doing the work. If he does it for a year,
something like that.
Yeah, he'll get better on a mic if he just does it for a year, and then by the time he launches his campaign,
he might do well if he. I haven't heard him actually, but people do like him. He does have a, he has a personality. He seems like a regular guy. He's into cars. He's into, I think, but I drift over to that, and I think it's tomorrow, Wednesday. That Drink and Draw Social Club is like.
That's the scary thing right there.
Grim death.
Yeah.
It is the deadest, most joyous. It's 4 guys who are afraid to speak their mind on anything because they don't. And that's who wants to listen to that. It's just they're telling like inside, very safe stories that only each other get the joke, and it's like it's grim death.
Yeah, I can tell you more about what Blake Northcott Sean Gordon Murphy's project was if she didn't bail on our show. She was supposed to come on the Jack show, and then she bailed last minute.
Who, Blake?
I'd love to be able to tell you guys what their show is about, but I have no clue because she didn't show up.
That's a power play. She's working you.
Let's see how it is here. So we got the Bifrost show. 121 thumbs up, 1 thumb down. There's Blake, and let's see. Does Sean actually talk? Is that like is he moving? No, that's a photograph. It's a photograph of him. And then this is his avatar. That he doesn't have an avatar. 1,085 views since July 24th. It's not great, guys.
How many subs?
You can't tell. It doesn't say. It just says subscribe. So I don't know if the subs are hidden or what. This is Blake Northcott's account, though. All right, so because I was looking for something called Bifrost, and it's just it's the Bifrost show. All right, let's go back here. Let's take another look. Here's the episode 2. Episode 2, 520 views, July 27th.
Oh, one thing I could say quickly, I know Vince Rush is a badass comic skater, up and comer, badass, really with the ink and brush pen, and he's got some stuff coming out. He met Sean Gordon Murphy, and he told me the story earlier this summer. He met Sean Gordon Murphy, and he said Sean Gordon Murphy was so awesome and so funny and kind of making jokes about, like, almost winking at the camera, knowing about the situation of what's going on.
Yeah, I like Sean, and I feel like he's reached out to me a couple of times and just been like, yeah, I see what you're doing. I see what's up.
I know it was you, Sean. You broke my heart.
Yeah.
I like Blake because she tweeted this out 4 hours ago. I'm a Jedi on the streets, but a Sith in the sheet. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. All right. So we got to get these guys going. If Sean Gordon Murphy's going to do well, we got to help him. I don't know if he's going to accept our help, though.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him as an ally. Now I'm his enemy, though, because I lowballed him on my prediction.
Yeah. I will say that he will make 200,000 on his first book. And maybe more. I mean, maybe he'll actually get to Brian Pulido numbers and get to 270, 300.
Yeah, with like 1,000 backers.
Or you could test Rob Liefeld's theory that it's Batman.
Yeah. Well, I believe that theory. I thoroughly believe. Here's the thing, like, what you're doing now, if he goes and does an Indiegogo campaign, what he would be doing is saying to existing comic book fans, how many of you that normally buy my books are willing to come over here and spend a whole lot more to see my next thing that isn't Batman? Or would you rather just wait for me to come back to Batman?
I'd rather him release a book that is kind of like Batman.
Well, I would too, but
just like when Image came out, Todd did Spawn, which was kind of Spider-Man-esque. Rob did Youngblood, which was X-Force-esque. Silvestri did Cyberforce, X-Men-esque.
Yeah.
Keown with Pitt, which was Hulk-esque. So he's hot on Batman right now. And if he comes out with some car book, great for him. But I think the superhero fans would love to see some real good superhero-esque work out of him.
Yeah, I agree. He would have to do a cool like Batman style superhero, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to do that.
Yeah,
he loves cars, and he's really good at drawing swords. I thought swashbuckling swords, Castlevania stuff. He's drawn fan art by that for fun. Whatever, just guessing what it might be. Mixing of Castlevania and cars. That's my guess.
Comics Legend agrees with you, John.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Car book. People also think, there need to be a lot of cars in this book. I don't know. I'm interested in this. I want to see, here's the other thing, by the way. Rob Liefeld crowdfunded.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, who's more popular than Rob Liefeld?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do well.
Yeah. Yeah. YouTube is the engine, man. That's it. I mean, you got to get out there. You got to promote.
Yeah, but Rob never had a channel. He never did live streams.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
At least Sean's dipping his toes into that, so he's he's at least seeing which way the wind blows on stuff.
Yep, that's the secret. Once Rob really fully embraces that YouTube is the new marketing machine, I think if he gets his stuff fulfilled, you could do very well. You could do really well in crowdfunding, but he has to fulfill his stuff, and he's got a really bad track record right now.
Hey, you guys too. I'm at 501 subscribers on YouTube right now, so it shot up 24 or something. Thanks everyone. And Cecil, I saw you posting the link. Thanks a lot. And Ethan, thanks for the shout out. Thank you, everyone.
No problem.
Yeah, sure. Let's check in on Graveyard Shift and see where we're at here. Graveyard Shift is the new book by John Malin. Graveyard Shift Volume 2, $136,158. Links in the description, guys. Make sure to back Graveyard Shift Volume 2 if you haven't yet. There are lots of good tiers. Blood Bag is the complete set, huh?
Yeah. 4 days left, guys. And this will not go in demand. Graveyard Shift is not an in-demand project. So when the 4 days is up, if you haven't backed it, you won't get another chance to get these books until 2020. And then there'll probably be different books. So like variants for second print. So.
Yeah, you're not kidding about that. There was a kid who was, I don't know if he's a kid. He's a guy on Twitter, and he's just like, I wanted to get Graveyard Shift Volume 1. I didn't have the money. I don't know where to get it. And, I mean, that was it. Like, he was out of luck. Fortunately, I bought 4 copies. I have 4 copies of Graveyard Shift 1. Now I have 3 because I said, may I send you one?
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Said, let me send you a copy.
Wasn't there one for sale, John, on eBay? It was over $100?
Yeah, there's been a couple now that have gone over $100. So we have a few that are in the highest tier on the Graveyard Shift campaign. If you want the first printing, it's just our leftover copies. We got maybe 100. So I think we might have capped that at 50 for damages and whatnot. Just so we make sure we have everything covered. But
buy 2 and sell 1, everyone.
Last 50 of the first print are pretty much in this campaign at the highest tier. So if anyone wants that, it has gone for sale for $100. So,
there are some speculation investors in Comicsgate too. I just know for Earthbound, it was one guy. He emailed me directly, and he bought 10 copies, and he's probably doing that for all the books. So someone's documenting it. They're gonna have all these books. They'll all be really rare.
Yeah, I want to see what Cyberfrog. Well, Cyberfrog Chromiums probably won't be a big deal. There are a lot of them. I mean, I'm printing like a lot of these things. The salamandroid ones are going to be very, very rare, but even still, 2,000 of those are going to be out there. So I don't know. I feel like they'll be okay. We'll see.
$500. That's my guess.
Oh,
On eBay.
Yeah, I hope not. That's crazy. Chris Potts is here again. Chris, go ahead. $5 this time. He says, "I am disappointed. The future of comics is in your hands, and this is the best you can do." I'm not angry, just disappointed. You all let me down! Exclamation point.
Me?
What did we do?
What is he mad about? Does he want some nips? Someone was talking about nips.
Yeah, they wanted you to show nips. I don't want you to do that. That's
that's more war campaign type stuff.
Yeah. Not on my channel. And I love war campaign, but you don't have to do that stuff here.
Yeah.
Chris Potts, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it better? I mean, the comic industry, you're correct. It has fallen into our hands, and it is our responsibility.
I thought he was directing that comment at Narwhal.
Oh, in that case, sure.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, "I'm not disappointed in you right at the moment, so I'll give you a sub."
Oh, well, who's he disappointed in? Chris Potts says, "No, better." I'm interested in Chris Potts. Chris, did you subscribe? Will you subscribe to my channel, please?
Chris Potts is Comic Book Hut.
You think so? Oh, Comic Book Hut. You got to do another Comic Book Hut video. Your version of him is funnier. I love your Comic Book Hut more than I love your Smugless.
Whoa.
And that's saying something.
Saying a lot.
Can you put them both in one video somehow?
Maybe I'll have Smugless interview the Hut.
Yeah.
All right, now Chris Potts he's saying, "All you fucks."
Oh, me too. I haven't produced a thing.
Cecil, if you do that, I'll draw you thumbnails for each person to do a little animated talk or whatever.
Okay.
Chris
Well,
Potts.
I got the pictures of them. It's better.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I want to have Chris Potts come in here and talk to us.
Yeah.
Invite him in.
Chris, I'll say, if you want the link, I mean, are you on Twitter or what?
He can put up like some kind of image that could get you in trouble or something.
Oh.
You gotta trust. You trust.
Chris Potts, what are you saying? Are you drunk? Now he's saying, "I love you guys. You are better than this." No, we're not. We're worse than this.
I feel like I've seen
right now.
I feel like I've seen him around.
Much worse.
Yeah.
Watch the Jack show. See how bad it could get.
GK1 says negging works on EVS. Confirmed. Absolutely does. I'm like, why doesn't this person like me? I don't understand.
Something's wrong with them. No, you're like, something's wrong with me.
So yeah, I need to fix them so that 100% of everyone likes me.
Who was the guy that gave you $100 EVS and you had him on and he was kind of socially awkward, but he had a hilarious comic idea? And John talked to him later. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah. Watermelon platypus?
Yeah. No.
No, it was Chris Williams, and he had
Starpoon.
Scumdogs.
Yeah.
Starpoon. Buick Starpoon was the name of the hero.
Yeah.
Let's get that guy back on.
We get it. Yeah, Buick Starpoon.
I believe he said he was going to wait till he had 10,000 subs to launch it. Like, good for you, man.
Jason Gallagher says, "Good luck getting Marvel to like you, EVS." Oh my God, are you kidding me? That's not going to happen. Marvel's not going to like me. And by the way,
offensive on Alana Smith. You win her, you win everyone.
I could do that. I could be like, the space between your eyes isn't that far. It's okay. You don't look like a wall-eyed bass. You know what? I have no plans to work for Marvel Comics, but they will come begging. Do you understand? They will crawl to me on their hands and knees like dogs, and they will beg me to work for them. What do you think of that, John? True or false?
I think it's 100% true.
Yeah, it's reality. That's reality.
When the doors are closing, yeah, they're going to be here.
That would be a pretty nice vindication.
I don't. I think about that sometimes. I'm just like, what if, what's going to happen? Like, what if this doesn't work out and I got to go back to DC? And it's just like, fuck. Like, that would be horrible. I think I'm done if it doesn't work out. I would never go back to DC. And I couldn't go back to Marvel. They would have to come crawling, which is going to happen. But yeah, I gotta, it's like, I can't go back to that, like that wage slavery, working 16-hour days.
I wonder, like, the worst thing that could happen is just like if it's on the level of the 2009 recession. I remember I worked at a Goodwill back then, and the lady next to me used to work at Microsoft, and so it's like real people couldn't afford comics maybe at that point. Like sales might go down if that ever happens, but I don't think it ever stopped. I think you keep going forever.
Simple Green says, would you sell out Graveyard Shift for an obscene amount of money to Marvel, John?
Oh, to Marvel? How obscene are we talking?
All right, so let's just say $40 million.
Done.
Sold, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Do what you want. I'm going to walk away. I'm not even going to Alan Moore you. I'm just going to walk away. When people ask me about the movie, I'm going to Stan Lee it, and I'm going to be like, it looks fantabulous.
You know, when in the 90s, Disney offered to buy Jeff Smith's Bone for something like $1 million and change. And he said no. And at the time, I was like, what are you, fucking nuts? Like, you know, $1 million, that's a lot of money. And then now I'm kind of like, yeah, he did the right thing. But then again, I'm like, what are you, fucking nuts? Because, like, where's Bone now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Disney.
Well, he's got a lot of volumes of that, though. He's probably doing all right.
Yeah, but that's his publishing rights. Like, he would get to keep that, like the movie rights.
Oh, okay, I got
Who offered him the money for the movie rights?
Disney.
And he said no?
Yeah.
Well, that's like, what's his name? Watchmen. Why am I?
We have a term on that.
Alan Moore does the same bullshit.
To have to renew that, though, right?
Yes.
Not indefinite. So $1 million? Yeah, take it.
I wouldn't take it for Cyberfrog. $1 million isn't enough.
$1 million for Bone is cheap, though. Bone is, that's a huge book. I mean,
yeah.
Is that what they gave him, $1 million?
No, that's what they offered him, and he said no. And I'm just saying, in the 90s, I remember that and being like, what? Like, you should have done it, of course. You know.
Probably should have.
Yeah, I would do Cyberfrog for, like, yeah, 40 million is the number that would make me just say, yeah, take it. And anything less than that, like, I would consider it. And, probably, yeah, I'd be like, of course, let me think. If it's enough to just sort of be happy and healthy for the rest of my life, and of course, my family's way more important than owning a character, an IP I created. That's just at this age. You know?
40 mil. I mean, that's you on a boat going around the world the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not you, Ethan. You got
not me.
Gambler in you. A little bit of gambling degeneracy.
I would have a real problem in Atlantic City,
Yeah.
I would immediately become Fredo Corleone. Hey, everybody. In a cheesy tuxedo. Too much money.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be great. It's my dream come true.
The dream to be Fredo?
Yeah. Just be a dirtbag in a casino.
Banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time?
Well, maybe not, but I would definitely be a casino dirtbag,
I'd probably be living out of a really nice RV with sandals on all the time.
Oh, that's $40
million would have you sandals in an RV?
Yeah.
It's wasted. You don't need 40 million.
Roaming the continents.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like, I look at recreational vehicles. You can get a good one, like a really nice one, for between $100,000 and $200,000. And then you just kind of go where you want to go. You roam the earth. You're not tied down.
You have $40 million. You're not tied down. You can take planes.
Yeah.
Well, you do that too. But you just make sure that 40 mil is gonna.
And then when you get to that destination, instead of staying in a car, a glorified van that pumps your sewage, you go to like a 4-star hotel, a 5-star hotel.
No, my RV is gonna be a Volvo 5-star hotel. I'm gonna have a jacuzzi in it. I'm gonna have a bed in there, full shower, full bath.
I mean, just like a hotel that you can afford.
Have to customize and make it about 10 feet longer.
You're all crazy.
Yeah. Checkpoint says Bone had a game. Where's the Cyberfrog RPG? Good question.
Did Bone have a game?
Shut me down. I don't know. I don't remember. Bone always just looked like somebody took Pogo, Walt Kelly's Pogo, and gave him a wax job. I was like, I don't really see what it's Pogo. It's just Pogo. Whatever. Kelsey looks like a bearded Robin Williams. He's not even in here to defend himself. That's not Kelsey. That's Narwhal.
Yeah. Skinny Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Kelsey have similar facial hair right now.
I see it now. Yeah.
Any chance of getting Batman artist Lee Weeks instead of Sean Murphy, says Mark C. Well, Lee Weeks, possibly. I don't know.
What does it mean getting him? Getting him for what?
Having him on the show, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Lee Weeks would come on. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, it's like 4 a.m. I guess I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
I've been live streaming since.
Before you go to bed, I want to see your
Penis.
I want to see your penis. Do you want to see the final product for the Betty Page Kelsey thing?
Yeah. Do you have it?
I do.
Oh my god.
Almost final.
All right, let's see.
Let me make sure nothing is showing and go.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah.
That's a final though. I mean, it's a.
No, I mean, for as far as her design.
Oh, I see. That's John Malin, and that's his head there, and that's you, Cecil.
Yeah, Kelsey's right behind her head. See the glasses?
Yeah, you can barely tell.
I could tell that's him though.
With the wide eyes.
Yeah, when it's zoomed in, it's totally him. Like I saw it right away. I look like some kind of crazy Mexican. I look like Danny Trejo.
Yeah, it looks like you have eyeliner a little bit.
I would have given you way more beard. I don't know. I would have shaped your face differently. Chris Potts says, "You cowards." I gotta read more of what Chris Potts is saying. Every time I look, he's saying something good. But...
I'm sure that he's comic book guy.
You think so?
Appreciate you, Chris.
Anyway, I like the finish. It looks more Betty Page than when he started.
He's gonna draw Anna in there too.
Is he really?
Yep.
Nice.
Chris Potts said, "You cowards," again, but just with a period this time, and I can't see anything else. So I don't know.
See, everyone in chat, just give negative attention.
Negative. You focus like a laser on that.
Yeah.
No, but you have to be interesting though. Like yelling "you cowards" is interesting. Just being like "you're a dick, fuck you" is not cool.
Right.
But if you're just like, "Hey, I'm really disappointed in you cowards," I'm like, "What?"
That's how that one trans lady got on your show, right? By negging you.
Yes. Yeah. That is true. Yeah, I'll respond to it if it's interesting. I do like it. I prefer praise, but
Jack will be on here soon enough if he keeps it up.
Who will?
Pocket Jacks.
Oh, Pocket Jacks, yeah. No, I don't want him on there. I don't. The thing about Pocket Jacks is I don't want to help him. It's like that's what he wants. He wants help. I'm not going to help him. I'm not going to play his little game.
Yeah, I got my own Pocket Jacks.
John's got dreams.
Hitting me up right now. Ugh. Someone from the past trying to get more attention for one of his projects, trying to bait me into a argument.
Narwhal? I mean Nasser?
No.
Someone from your extreme days?
No. Someone he used to be Comicsgate, or I don't know what he is. Friends with Vox.
Oh, JDA.
Yeah.
Classic.
JDA is another one. Like when I talk about these guys, here's the thing that SJWs do. They fight you, they bait you, they fight you, they bait you, and then the minute like you go, "Hey, you jerk," they go, "Holy shit, it finally happened to me." Ethan Van Sciver finally came for me, and it was scary. He really let. So you don't know what it is to be in his sights. And John Delarose played that game with me so many times where he would just be a dick. And then finally I'd be like, "Hey, knock it the fuck off, idiot." And then he'd write a long article about how I, trained my sights on him and sent my attack dogs at him. So I just keep away from him. All these guys, I don't know if they're looking for attention. I don't really know what they want. They're all tap dancing around. Your boy Zach said to me, he said, "You know what it is, Ethan?" He's like, "You've got this daddy thing about you." And I said, "I don't feel that way about myself." He's like, "You've got this daddy thing about you where people who have issues with their fathers take it out on you." And that was the most startling thing I'd ever heard in my life. I hope that's not true. but Zach's pretty insightful. So, you know, somebody like JDA, I don't know. JDA, what do you want? You want to have a catch? Somebody like Pocket Jacks, you want to build a Pinewood Derby with me? What can I do for you? What exactly is it that you need that your father didn't provide you? The other alternative is the belt, because that, you know, very liberal with the belt.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to claim that I pretty much said to him in a DM, "F you, Nazi, now go away before I punch you." And I asked him to clarify that, and now he's gone off the map.
Wait, you said "F you, Nazi"?
No, this is what he's claiming that I pretty much said, because VLNet wrote something about corporate PR machines nowadays would say "F you, Nazi, now go away before I punch you."
Yeah.
JDA replied, he pretty much said that to me in DM a few months ago. And I said, can you clarify that? Because the only thing I've ever said to John Delarose as a negative is I called him a douchebag, and then he leaked the DM where I called him a douchebag.
That's what he does. Like, he's just waiting for something to make himself look like a victim. It's really unmanly. Like, it's really not conservative. It's really not, man. It's not right wing. It's unmanly.
Disgusting behavior. But yeah, to even imply or that I might have called him or tried to imply that he was a Nazi because I call him a fucking douchebag. Get out of town. People, man.
I don't know. Yeah, like that's I kind of stay away from him. I give these guys chances. Like, I talked to John Delarose, and he's just like, I say, hey man, look, people, I shouldn't have said this. It's so dumb, but people sometimes need to hear things like this. Test their ego. It's like, people see you as a leader in this community, and you need to start acting like it. And boy, did he like that. Boy, did he like hearing that. He went on Twitter and he immediately said, I like Ethan Van Sciver. Say what you want about him, but, you know, I like that because I called him a leader in the community. I said, you have an obligation to these people. You need to start. And then immediately, like, he was being a dick again.
Yeah, there's something wrong. Something wrong with him.
Don't know. Egg Chen 6 Demonback says gamma. Yeah, gamma behavior, you know what gamma males are. Here's what gamma. Oh, where's that? No, I guess I just have to remember it out of my head. Gamma males. No, I don't. I can just Google it. Let's look up Vox Day's definition of what a gamma male is, because Vox Day is the one who kind of coined all this, and it's the one good thing that he did.
I remember that too. Like, it's betas aren't actually so bad if you picture a band. Like, that's alpha and beta, but then you get down to the gammas. That's like the jealous guy off the side of the stage kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Here's a nice article about this, and a lot of these guys who will not let go. Tim Doyle is a gamma male. A lot of these guys are gamma males. They're not beta males. Betas are healthy. Betas are just the dudes that hang out with the alphas, and the alphas aren't necessarily that great because they have a difficulty having relationships with women and things like that. Betas do great. Betas just get the next prettiest girl. And they're
alphas are the people that people gun for. Alpha's the dude who gets killed, like if it's the Old West or whatever.
Yeah, in a lot of cases. All right, so the gamma male archetype. So this is less than beta. What is a gamma male? The two principal characteristics of a gamma male are: one, gammas are by and large sexual rejects. They're usually intelligent, but unsuccessful with women, and alternate between pedestalizing a particular girl and a pathological hatred of the entire female sex. They're fundamentally dishonest, both to themselves and others. Does that sound familiar to you, John?
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe I get from JDA.
All right, they lie to themselves all the time and create a distorted reality bubble, which they protect at all costs. They tend to be introspective, and they brood and obsess over slights, insults, and unfairness of the dating world. But we can broaden that out.
I haven't talked to the guy in months, and out of the blue, he's just trying to get to me. He wanted me to put him on Comicsgate Presents. I'm like, no, you're a douchebag.
Yeah. All right, so how I first encountered gamma males. In my most recent video on YouTube, I talked about the inane comments I have to manage on my channel that are along the lines of, a true Sigma wouldn't bother with women. Just take a woman if she comes. Chasing women is dumb, etc. If you haven't watched it, please do. I describe how a Sigma still has to put himself in front of women in more detail. More recently, I'm getting a lot of shrieking comments to the effect that you're not a Sigma male. Sorry, bro. You're obviously XYZ because of blah, blah, blah. Thinking about this a little more, it's blindingly obvious that these comments are from gammas. I've written this post because you will encounter gammas in your life, and they're absolutely toxic. So you need to learn to handle them effectively if possible. Avoid them entirely and have nothing to do with them. Further, if you're a gamma yourself and in your better moments, you're prepared to work on it, you might be able to improve your dating success or at least, understand the problem. All right, let's see. Now, this is too long and not what I'm looking for here, but it's, let me see. Oh, here we go. So here's Vox Day, identifying gamma males. This will be a little bit better. All right. When having an argument with someone and it appears that you are wrong, the most common belief in defense is that the other person simply doesn't understand what you are saying. That's a gamma thing. When discussing matters with someone and you think that you are maybe possibly being shown to be wrong, you start to get snarky, crack lame jokes and immediately try to change the subject. If someone holds an opinion contrary to yours and you don't think you have a good defense immediately to hand, you start to look for unrelated ways to disqualify the other person as being less knowledgeable about the subject, even going so far as to disqualify them as being a good person or sometimes even a person at all. Definitions are tenuous for you, and words can be redefined at leisure during a discussion. If someone quotes the dictionary and it disagrees with your definition, they are arguing unfairly and the dictionary is wrong.
It's kind of like if you called someone a douchebag and they tried to turn that into you saying they're somehow a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like complete different view on reality in order to try to benefit from it.
Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. Are you a gamma? All right, let's see. In the past year, you're a gamma if in the past year you can't recall a single serious online discussion you were wrong about anything. In the past 2 years, you can't recall one discussion with any friends or family in which you were wrong about anything. When you're having an argument with someone and it appears you are wrong, the most common belief in defense is the other person doesn't understand what you're saying. Let's scroll down a little bit. That's a little bit. All right, definitions of tenuous. When finally shown you're wrong about something, it is devastating. You remember it for months or years. Avoid that place or people and consider your time there as a failure as a person. You can't even take a mild ribbing about anything outside of a few harmless topics from other guys and immediately fly into a barely controlled rage and seek some sort of vengeance if you're lampooned by anyone. This isn't upping the competition, but hatred of the other, and you will avoid that person or speak badly of them. In contrast, you'll sit idly by as a woman openly mocks you as you are just being nice. Let's see. The thought of being at the center of a comedy roast fills you with dread. You think width of knowledge is more important than depth of knowledge. You're an expert on everything and always ready to give your opinion, even when you aren't sure. Then again, a gamma is always sure of his knowledge, so you probably give your opinion on most everything all the time. Yeah. Seems like most people are gammas.
Yeah. I was wrong about the size of jackhammer I was going to need for my basement. The guy corrected me. I said, thank you.
See, that's how we know you're not a gamma. You're probably an alpha,
Yeah. Beta.
Yeah.
Alpha, beta.
What's Tim Lim, you think? I mean, not Tim Lim, Tim Doyle.
Tim Doyle is definitely a gamma.
Yeah.
So is Tim Lim. Because it's the most striking thing about that is the having a grudge, carrying a grudge, feeling slighted by someone and never being able to let it go. Can you think of anything in your life where you've carried a grudge against someone and you can't let it go and you're constantly trying to get revenge?
Well, I'm Sicilian, so I feel like that all the time.
Like Tim Doyle is Tim Doyle's like that, but Tim Doyle's also a sociopath. Tim Lim is kind of like that. Like he's still mad a year and a half ago that I offhandedly said that his Trump books are not Comicsgate, and he's still trying to destroy me for it. That's
even after you pumped up his book, he never let that go. He never
let go of a slight. Never do that. I mean, that's what you do. All right, let me read some more super chats, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Snarkticon DM says Marvel has pepper pots. Comicsgate has salty pots. That's Chris Potts. Unhinged Crank says, EVS, you ever hear of a video game called Stroker? Yes. There were all these porno games for like the Commodore 64. And Stroker was one of them. And we
Leisure Suit Larry is the only sex game I know about from back in the like way day. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that one, but somebody told me about that.
Yeah, I don't think it was like all that bad. I don't know. One of my friend's dad had it.
Well, Stroker is just a penis and a hand.
You told me about this before, yeah.
Yeah, in the corner there's a guy's face, and you can tell if he's enjoying it, and you try to, whatever,
stroke him off.
Yeah. Weird. It is weird. It's a weird thing.
Wait, and you're going off whether his expression is happy or not?
Yeah, we can actually pull up a picture of the game if you want to see it. I don't know if it's.
What if his expression is like this?
I can't see you right now. Hold on, Commodore 64. We'll find pictures of this game. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember this. I remember this game pretty vividly. They're saying it's rated R, but it seems like it'd be rated something worse than R. I guess it's not something you would. Maybe it's appropriate for 17-year-olds.
It's when the Catholic Church dipped their toe into gaming.
So here it is. You can see it, and here is the time control. Here is the Peter meter. This is your hand.
Look at the color of the font too.
Now the problem is that you are a black man and this is a white penis. That immediately strikes me as problematic. I'm not
or progressive. Depends on how you look at things.
Or progressive. So the object of Stroker is very simple and basic. Manipulate the organ to full erection before ejaculation. Okay, so rough or too energetic handling can cause a premature response. This, of course, results in a poor score. Right, so you want to get a high score.
You don't want a poor score.
This teaches you how to jerk some other dude off. Why would I play this?
I don't know. I don't know people. It says good luck and good stroking. P.S. We'll play soothing music for you while you work.
What kind of weirdo would play this? And what's your highest score, Ethan?
Yeah, why wouldn't it at least be a girl's hand?
That's the question. There's a lot of weirdness about this. Why is he in his finest cuffs and cufflinks?
Roll up your sleeves.
Yeah, roll up your sleeves. I mean, like, relax.
Work.
Yeah, you should at least have the option if you want to be jerked off by a dude or a chick in this game. Yeah. Now I am offended.
Yeah, so that's Stroker. I mean, I don't know why.
How hard would it be to put like, this is clearly a dude jacking off another dude. This is
right.
Just put fingernails on it and a slender wrist with no sleeve, and
and you got a hit.
Yeah,
it's like the backstory to it's like Blade Runner. It's like you are Stroker, hiding in the back room of bathtubs, coming out, getting one and done, getting your nickel and getting out of there.
Well, it is strange. So I don't know, but anyway, that was the question, and I'm happy to answer these questions. That's what we do.
Maybe
here.
It's like Michael Jackson with his house guests.
Chris Potts says, "I gave you my number. Talk to me or not, sad men."
He wants you to call him.
I'm not calling him. I mean, it's stupid. Then he'd have my number. Why would I want this dude calling me? And by the way, I can't tell what's going on with his avatar, but he is either a 16-year-old boy or a 55-year-old woman. And I can't tell which because he's holding a camera up to the lower half of his face, which is what SJWs do for their avatars. Usually they cover the lower half of their face. So I don't know, man.
Like they're peeking over a fence.
Yeah, sometimes it's just or they're drinking from a cup of coffee, like a coffee mug. They have one eyebrow raised from behind the mug, and the mug says, your tears. Or they're behind their computer laptop screen. They always find a way to cover the lower half of their. I go through this. I tell people how to tell a soy boy. Like that's one of them. Their avatar, they're covering the lower half of their face, or they're snuggling a beloved family pet, and they look like they're on the verge of tears. Okay, or they always look like a soy boy. Probably they look like the Will Wheaton soy boy sketch. But the main thing is they have a very cutesy cartoon drawing of themselves, which is meant to express the same thing that the pet avatar is meant to express. I am sexually inert. I am harmless. I will not rape you. You know, I'm cute. I'm a cartoon. I look like I belong on Nickelodeon.
Oh, by the way, before I came on here, I watched the Bill Burr special on Netflix. Came out tonight, and he does a thing on male feminists that you'll love.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
What the fuck happened to these guys? What, like, it's just.
Did you say Ethan?
I thought it was a pretty solid performance. It was good.
Nice. I'm gonna check that out. They do this one too, Ethan.
They do what? I didn't say.
Oh yeah, open mouth.
Yeah, the soy mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of stopped doing that a little bit when people started to notice it. The big problem was PewDiePie. First of all, Joe Glass, who was one of your boy Zach's persecutors previously, Bleeding Cool, he had a big soy mouth avatar, and it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And it was so disgusting that it ended up in a PewDiePie video that 40 million people watched. And PewDiePie was like, you know, like
that ended it, huh?
That ended it. Like that. Joe Glass was humiliated. His family saw it. It was great. It was the best thing that could have happened to him, you know, from my personal perspective. But like people kind of stopped because they were afraid of getting on PewDiePie's channel. So that ended. But I will tell you that I am correct. It's one of those three things. You know, you'll be talking to somebody and they're a total bitchy little soy boy, and then you look at their avatar, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, Ethan was right. He's sitting there snuggling his cat, and he looks like he's gonna cry. Why? You know, why is it all the time? They're all the same. They're all trying to send messages. They're trying to say, the covering the lower half of the face is somehow to say I'm a man of mystery, I'm mysterious and worldly. That's a weird. It's a subtle message, but it's there. But
Interesting.
The cat in the cartoon is, I am sexually inert. I am harmless. I will not rape you. I'm cute. I'm here to be your friend. I'm an ally. And they're definitely rapists. Definitely. All right. So, Chris Potts, I'm not sure if I want to talk to you. It was a funny idea that hit me a minute ago, but I don't know. Amateur Ant says, I like going to abortion rallies to pick up liberal chicks and pretend I'm one of them. Usually I get the job done. Yeah, it's, you know. Doom Notron says, Chris Potts, you are Aunt Jemima's bitch. I don't know why.
Whoa.
Syrup, you know, Aunt Jemima. Clicks 08008, thanks for $10, says, do a show after this mail-in and I'll back highest tier, no lie. So I'm gonna let you go.
Jeez.
That's $250. So you know, and he just gave me 10, so he must mean it.
All right, but I can only do it for about 45 minutes because the wife is going to be getting up for work here.
Right on.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone except for Chris Potts for being here tonight and joining us on this live stream. No, even Chris Potts.
We appreciate you, Chris Potts.
Yeah,
come into the fold.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's not right. So I want to thank everyone, including Chris Potts, for being here tonight. And we'll see you again tomorrow with more incredible entertainment. In the meantime, go back Graveyard Shift Volume 2 and go watch John Malin's show.
Malin After Midnight, coming right up. I'm looking for that high purchase. Thank you.
Adios, guys.
All right. Bye.
See ya. Thanks, everyone.